The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
I host sex parties.
You have sex with other people on stage?
No.
No, I'm not that cool.
We sell sex toys, nipple clamps, dildos.
He's like, okay. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I'm the king of discount butt plugs. He comes from a long line of butt plug salesmen, including my great-great-great-grandfather, Alexander Butt Plug. When he came here, he didn't have a dildo in his pocket. Just a butt plug in a dream. And it wasn't in his pocket. His parents were probably like, so you want us to meet your girlfriend? Well, how many butt plugs did she buy? Wait, none? Well, then what's in her butt right now?
Yo, DJ, drop that beat.
Showtime.
Music has been taken out of this portion of the Half-Ass Morning Show podcast for licensing reasons.
Sounds a little bit like old Def Leppard.
Yeah.
But it's not, is it?
It is.
It is?
Yeah, Run Riot. Underrated. Well, I shouldn't say underrated, but I don't know why more people don't talk about this song.
Which record?
Maybe because it's 36 years old. On this day, Hysteria came out.
Hysteria.
What, like 7 singles off this one? That's a pretty big one.
That was a large record for the band. Run Riot. I gotta admit to you, Josh, if ever I'm listening to Hysteria, I hit skip on this one.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always like this one. You don't like the chorus?
Honestly, I can't really remember it. There was all the massive singles that came off that record. I know all of those. What's the one about the gods?
Gods of War. That's a great one.
See, I always hated that one
I
as
like
well.
that too.
How come we have so much in common with the exception of the 1987 Hysteria record?
I'm more patriotic. Wait, that doesn't work because they're British.
They're in an English band.
Oh, shoot, I'm less patriotic.
So you're saying on this date in 1987, Hysteria came out?
Yeah.
Right before I started the 10th grade.
I was going into 7th. Just about going into 7th grade.
That's cool. I love when you dump rock history on us. I do. I enjoy it a lot. And I appreciate that you went with Run Riot over Pour Some Friggin' Sugar on Me.
I'm not going to do that.
For the 1 millionth time.
I'm not going to do Love Bites.
The Love Bites and the Animal and the Hysteria.
I'm going to do Animal later. That's my favorite song on the album.
Oh. That's fun.
What do you think about Armageddon? I got that one lined up for the day.
They're all right by me. Yeah. They are. I don't want to start any more trouble with you.
Oh, no, I'm fine with it.
They're all right by me.
We both agree that Pyromania is their best album. Don't we agree that?
Well, yeah, because it has their greatest song. And that would be Too Late for Love.
It's a good one.
So.
I prefer Photograph. But yeah, Too Late for Love is a great one, too. Foolin'?
Outstanding.
That's a good one.
Absolutely outstanding. That's probably their second greatest song is Foolin'. You know, Hysteria, for you younger people, if you don't know the story, kind of like Appetite for Destruction, which also came out in 1987. It didn't have the immediate impact that some might try to lead you to believe. It didn't. It took a long time for that record to take off. But then once it did, it was gangbusters, out of this world. You couldn't cross a street without getting run over by somebody listening to Hysteria. Just like Appetite for Destruction. It didn't take off. Everybody wants to tell you that all Guns N' Roses had to do was show up and the world stopped spinning. That's not true. It took a long time for that record to take off. You know, and like Hysteria, once it did, it was out of this world.
It's funny how it goes where, like Def Leppard, the band didn't really like Pour Some Sugar on Me. And as a matter of fact, I don't think they wanted it on the album. But Mutt Lange, the producer, said, no, this is going to be a hit.
Isn't that how it usually goes?
And then that's what happened. That's what kind of launched them at that, that record, I should say. Not launched them, but.
God rest his soul, Janie Lane isn't with us anymore, but ask anyone who was in Warrant how they felt about the song Cherry Pie.
Oh, he hated it. And that one, he said, he basically wrote it in 5 minutes. Because the studio's like, no, we need something like this. He hated that song. I think stuff like that has contributed to his demise physically.
I don't think there's any doubt about it.
That, and he didn't want to be known as a band that was, like a ballad band. He wanted to be known as, not so soft.
Sadly, I don't think there's any question that the song Cherry Pie negatively affected Janie Lane's life.
I mean, if you saw him in concert, sometimes he'd even mention it. That or some of the ballads. Now, I saw Red. That one he did embrace.
Ooh, it must be magic.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Going back to albums, I wish they were a bigger thing like they were back in your era.
Meaning where people would listen to them from beginning to end?
Cover to cover.
Now it's just singles. Everyone just releases singles, and then hopefully that gets popular.
I hear
you're right.
You. I hear you.
You're totally right.
Yeah, I wish albums were way bigger.
And tours aren't what they used to be. You know what I mean?
Well, now you pay out your butt for tickets.
You do.
Straight out your butt. Up your bottom.
It's never your wallet. It's now just your butt.
Yeah, they come. They literally put their hand up your butt and they take it.
Yeah,
everything.
I like that stuff, Josh. I like honoring old records and that kind of rock history that you throw our way every once in a while. Everybody, welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show over here. And thank you. Thank you very much. It is Thursday. And you started off with some Beavis and Butthead there. We might be able to talk a little bit of Beavis and Butthead here in a minute.
I got to say, of the Mike Judge's Beavis and Butthead, the most recent iteration, season 1 was so good for the most part. Season 2, not as much.
Oh, really?
There's definitely some laughs in there, but if you watch it, Nick, I think you'd really like season 1.
I'm sure I would. Now, Mike Judge's Beavis and Butthead, why were you specific like that? Was there an era of Beavis and Butthead that Mike Judge was not involved in?
No, that's what it's called to differentiate itself, I think, just to say, hey, this is the new one.
Oh,
so
okay.
They call it Mike Judge's Beavis and Butthead. I think they air it on Comedy Central, right?
I've never caught it though. I think that's what I've been told.
They're a season behind. It's on Paramount Plus. It came out a year before with Paramount Plus.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I didn't know it went to Comedy Central too.
I'm pretty sure it did, or maybe MTV. I guess I'm not sure, but I thought they were airing it on I guess cable television as well.
Yeah, some guy texting in wants to have a fight about which is the best Def Leppard song. We've moved on, dude. We've moved on.
Well, what kind of? I mean, their best song really is the cover they do of "Rock On." It's so good.
God.
It is so good. I mean, and the original, brilliant, but their cover, and the fact that they insist on doing it at every show, that is, to me, worth going right
what
there.
What a kick in the balls that is. Just one of the worst ideas in the history of... and I'm kidding, dude. When I said we've moved on, you know me. Well, you likely know a little bit about me if you listen to this show. I'll always go back to conversations like this. We'll never completely move on. Dude says High and Dry is Def Leppard's best song. And that is... Talking about Saturday Night. High and Dry.
I like that song.
Great song. I still put Foolin' and Too Late for Love.
Here's one from More Anxiety Than Hair, Jesus, Die Hard the Hunter. That's a good song. I like that one.
I'll tell you, you folks here on the radio program, you folks know your television programming. You do. It's impressive. I mention it all the time. Whenever we get on the topic of this show and this series and that other series, and have you finished watching this? I've gone back to this. There's a prequel for the, you guys know all of it. So, I got to ask you, which TV family did you love the most throughout your life? Maybe it's one you're currently watching. Maybe it's one you watched as a kid. Which TV family have you enjoyed, loved the most?
Well, there's been some developments with one of the actors since this show is at its peak of popularity, so I'm a little afraid to say who one of my all-time, if not my favorite TV family is. I'm a little scared to say. There's a few that are right up there, but
did Peter Griffin get canceled or something?
No,
Is that
it's
what
not
you're
Peter
talking about?
Griffin.
It's not? Okay.
We go back.
You're talking
America's dad.
Yeah.
Who things have changed, my opinion of him.
Well, we're talking about a fictional television family.
Yeah, but
you know.
Bill Cosby and the Cosby Show.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many. Brady Bunch.
That would be your all-time favorite, though, the
Cosby Show. Oh man, and it's not just because of the show, but it's because that was one where we'd have extended family come over to watch that together.
Wow.
It was part of that. That was a big one where all of us would watch it together, and the whole family loved that one.
I mean, dude, that show was untouchable for a while. Yeah, it was so popular, and there was some great stuff on that show. There really was. Do you remember the scene from the Cosby Show where they put on a record and the family was all lip syncing this song?
Oh yeah. Right, and like coming down the stairs and doing a whole show.
Yes, they were putting on some kind of a show.
Yeah.
Bill sang a little bit. Felicia, Rashad, all the kids had a role, and the little kid, Rudy, right?
Yep.
She took a portion of the song where this big singing voice was happening, right? So, very funny. Here's this tiny little kid with this big they're lip syncing, right? We watched that episode, and when it was over, my dad says, "Can you believe that little girl had that big voice?" I said, "Dude, pull your head out of your ass. They were lips anyway."
That's funny. The Evans family from Good Times.
Oh, that was everything to me as a kid. Everything to me as a kid. The Evans family on Good Times. Anyone else want to throw in the TV family that they love or loved the most?
It's not a traditional family in the fact that they're pretty dysfunctional, but I love The Simpsons my entire life.
Simpsons.
I don't know life without The Simpsons.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Obviously they're iconic, and
they've been going for 30 years.
Yeah. So I would say The Simpsons for me.
I can't think of one. I guess I mostly grew up watching Everybody Loves Raymond.
Okay.
I watched their family the most.
Okay.
I would have to go Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, that's a good answer.
That's
Great
really good.
answer.
Yeah.
Dude.
That was my childhood.
All right.
Yeah, very good one. What about the Cleavers from Leave It to Beaver?
Oh, I love Leave It to Beaver.
I never really got into the show. I had friends who just thought that show was so it was very awkward, and it was from the 50s, early 60s, right?
Yep.
And it would play in reruns in the 70s and 80s as we were growing up. And I think part of the reason why some of my buddies really liked it is because it was so annoyingly so annoyingly squeaky clean. You know what I mean? It was, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's very wholesome.
Well, yeah, no. Beyond
Not that Eddie Haskell, though.
No, he was great. I loved Eddie
He was
Haskell.
a rascal.
He was always up to something, wasn't he?
It was kind of like a guilty pleasure is where I'm trying to go with.
Okay.
You watched Leave It to Beaver because it was so unlike what reality is. No family is that perfect. No one uses the words that they use on Leave It to Beaver. Golly geez and all that, right? So it was like a guilty pleasure. It never really grabbed me.
What about the Engels from Little House on the Prairie? Another favorite.
I was all over that. All over it. I love that stuff.
The Goldbergs.
Never saw it. Americans were recently polled about who their favorite TV family was. And I thought the number one answer was kind of surprising. But we'll go 10-1 here. The Banks family from The Fresh Prince plus Bel-Air. Okay.
That's a good one, yeah.
I watched a little bit of that, not a lot, but I remember liking the characters.
I always knew if that came on that my mom was going to be home from work soon. It was always on late in the night.
Was that good or bad?
Bad.
But you just
I
knew to
wasn't
clean the
supposed to
house
be
by
awake.
then, or kick people out?
I was not supposed to be awake.
I remember
at that time.
I remember dealing with that emotion. My mother usually came home from work about 6 p.m., which meant to a certain extent, the fun was over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember, maybe it was Little House on the Prairie. I knew that when by the time Little House on the Prairie was over, for F's sake, Mom's going to come home, and then we got to put away the beer and put away all the fun, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you almost dread the ending of oh, God, it's almost over. Mom's going to be.
Yep.
Number 9 on the list of America's favorite TV families, never saw it, the Braverman family from Parenthood.
Yeah, I haven't seen that
I
either.
didn't watch that one.
Is that with the janitor from Scrubs? Am I thinking of the right show?
I haven't seen Scrubs either.
Oh my God, you'd love. I can't believe it.
What in the world?
Oh boy,
that absolutely shocks me.
Yeah.
That show is essentially made for you.
Everybody in my life has that same reaction when I tell them I've never watched Scrubs
Dude,
before.
wow, that's surprising.
There's never been a show more tailor-made for a person.
Never saw it. Why is it tailor-made for Dana? Is this that
style of humor? And it's the same guy that did Ted Lasso.
Mm-hmm. Those two dudes
And
that
Shrinking.
do those funny commercials together.
Right.
Yes.
They're from Scrubs.
Yes.
I love those guys on commercials, and I know you've tried to get me to show what does a person say? You tried to get me to watch that. Number 8, beloved TV families, the Tanner, never saw it, the Tanner family from Full House.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big one for me.
They're cool.
Yeah.
I watched that show a lot growing up.
I mean, I like John Stamos and everything. Who doesn't like John Stamos? But I never saw it. Number 7, never saw it. The Taylor family from Home Improvement.
I liked them a lot.
Sure, it's a good one.
I couldn't stand
That was
that.
a fun show.
I don't need to get involved in that dude again. What's his name again?
Tim Allen?
Tim Allen.
Yeah, boy, he's on one of your favorite shows.
Yes.
I think we're going to hear about that again in the future.
Yes, the name of the show is...
It escaped you as your favorite show.
Right.
Ninja Turtle, Nutcase Jesus mentioned Parenthood was Craig T. Nelson and Lauren Graham. Okay, I had the wrong show.
Right, okay.
Number 6, and I watched this last night, and I really do like this show. And Ashley mentioned it already. The 6th most beloved American TV family, the Barones from Everybody Digs Raymond.
They were funny.
That's a show I've never seen.
Oh man, that's part of the reason why I started calling you Cubby. Love that show with the exception of Ray's wife. I don't have any idea.
Deborah?
I don't have any idea why he didn't divorce her within a month.
I hate how he says golf too.
Yes, that is so funny you say that, Waffle.
Who says Gelf? Which character?
Raymond.
Yes.
Raymond?
East Coast people say it that way.
Yeah, I hate it.
I never noticed.
It's been
no
a pet
A.
peeve of mine. That's been a pet peeve of mine for decades. It plays out very often on Everybody Loves Raymond, and just last night, Wapple, in the rerun that I was watching, he said golf, and my stomach turned over.
Yeah.
My favorite episode is when they go to Italy. I remember being so pumped for that episode.
I remember that. They had a good time. Number 5, The Addams Family.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Number 4, The Bundys from Married with Children.
Sure.
Hilarious. Can't say enough how much I enjoyed and still enjoy that show. Number 3, The Brady's.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Number 2 is The Simpsons, and the number 1 answer kind of surprised me. Again, Americans were polled, who's your favorite TV family? And the majority of them said The Addams. Wait a minute.
It's from Wednesday.
Oh, I totally thought I was saying The Munsters. I guess then it just dawned on me. I already said The Addams Family. So number 5 is The Addams Family from The Addams Family. Number 1 is The Addams Family from Wednesday. Never saw it.
Yeah, that one surprises me.
weird.
I'm guessing that's just because it's top of mind, because it's a really popular show.
Recency bias.
Yeah, the family's like barely in it.
Yeah, don't they just send her to school?
Yeah.
And that's it?
Maybe that's why they like it. They just want time away from the family. That's why people selected that.
I mean, I loved one that I've always loved, and I think belongs in the top 10 would be The Bunkers.
Oh, sure. Good one.
From All in the Family, Archie and Edith. And
That's the thing. Some of these ones that should be obvious sometimes slip your mind. Yeah, that's a good one.
I love the Bloofs.
Oh, sure.
How do you say that?
The Bloofs.
BLUTA.
Oh,
From Arrested Development.
Yep.
Watch
I-
good show.
I want to make Wapple say that over and over again.
That's not easy.
Bloofs. Bloofs.
Do they play golf?
No, they don't. But there's always money in the banana stand.
Always money in the
Always.
banana stand.
Wash my butt before my face, Jesus says. You can't forget about the Marsh family from South Park. That's for sure. That's one of the greater TV dads, Randy Marsh.
man.
The Griffins.
Yes.
What about the Connors? Roseanne.
Never saw it.
You never saw Roseanne?
I couldn't stand Roseanne.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't stand John Goodman, and I couldn't stand the other people on the show. I dated a girl for a stretch of time who loved to watch Roseanne, and whenever she dialed it up, I'd just go to the other room. I couldn't understand the draw of those actors. I couldn't stand any one of them.
I like that show.
In the end,
when I was a kid.
I grew to like John Goodman. I did in other programs and motion pictures, but I'd get the willies when I'd see the ads.
I watch the Connors still when
I haven't seen
new
that.
shows come out. It's all right.
Thank you to 2N Cheeses. The show I was thinking about with Neil Flynn, the janitor from Scrubs, The Middle. So Parenthood, The Middle. Thank you.
There was a TV family I was pretty dialed into for a while, and that was what the hell was their name from Family Ties? The Keatons.
Keatons. Oh, that's a great one too.
Mom was hot. The older daughter was hot. Alex P. Keaton was funny.
Oh, he's hilarious.
The dad was very funny. Michael Gross.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he was very funny.
What about the Seavers from Growing Pains?
I loved that show growing up.
Me too.
Yes.
You know, Kirk Cameron? He was a feisty.
He was always up to some type of smart, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I wanted to punch that Kirk Cameron's lights out.
Really?
I did. I
thought he was great.
I didn't think he was funny at all. I loved Alan Thicke, God rest his soul. But that was kind of Beaver-y. That was like an 80s Leave It to Beaver. It was too squeaky clean for me.
My favorite.
Well, they got a character named Boner.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, I remember Boner, of course. What was that show called again?
Growing Pains.
Growing Pains. Yeah, the theme song even gave me the creeps.
Show me that smile again.
Oh, I enjoyed that song. I didn't know what a boner was in 1985.
Yes, you did know
I didn't
what
know
a boner.
well, let me see. I can tell you when Oh no, that's when I learned hard-on. What hard-on was.
I just like to think the writers are sitting around like,
Let's see.
do you think we could get a character named Boner in the show?
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing.
People are texting in, what about Full House? We already covered Full House. It made it into the top 10. The Tanners.
Yeah, we're getting yelled at for not saying the Brady's. Yeah,
The Brady's are
you
in
can't
You
yell
want to
at us
hear
if
it
you
again?
just tuned in to the radio.
Wapple
the
said
Bundys.
Malcolm and I'll do it again. The Banks, the Bravermans, the Tanners, the Taylors, the Barones, the Addams family make it twice. The Bundys, the Bradys, and the Simpsons.
I found
Jesus
out
balls.
what a hard-on was in 1986. And it was the movie Gung Ho
Oh, yeah. I remember
with
your
Michael Keaton.
You laughed, but you weren't exactly sure why you were laughing?
Well, no, my cousin was laughing. We saw Gung Ho together. Or so actually, it must have been after that because the movie came out in 80. So it must be maybe 87. And my cousin was laughing because somebody said between a rock and a hard-on, right, instead of hard place. And I didn't get the joke. I didn't know why that was funny. And then he explained it to me, and then I understood. That's genius.
We're just getting bombed with text messages. No, the friggin' Jeffersons didn't make the list, but I like the Jeffersons. No, the damn Dukes didn't make it's just the top 10.
Dukes.
The Dukes.
Good one.
They were stupid.
No, they weren't.
No, I was
God,
always,
they were so cool.
I was always rooting for Boss Hogg. Very good one here. The Cranes. Fraser Niles and Martin Crane from Frasier. Wildly funny.
That's one of those shows where I get crap for I haven't seen.
Oh, it is so effing hilarious. That's one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. Now, also in this poll where Americans talked about their favorite TV family, they also discussed how many of us have them.
Friends.
Ones we can. The top 10 television show best friends. Wapple just thought of Trent Beretta.
Yep.
And Chuck Taylor. You got to give the people what they want.
Oh.
Yay! AEW fans know what we're talking about.
They give each other hugs.
Television
That's nice.
show best friends. They go with, from 10 to 1, Kevin plus Paul from The Wonder Years.
They were good buddies.
The Wonder Years. Number 9. I get emotional. Laverne and Shirley.
They were the best of friends.
They were so friggin' funny. And Shirley was so friggin' hot. Number, how do you call it? 8. Never saw it. Jerry and George from Seinfeld. Number 7, Corey and Sean from Never Saw It, Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
Oh,
Never
yeah.
saw it.
Great show.
Number 6.
Topanga.
Oh, Topanga.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's that show. Yeah. People talk about her.
Number 6, Never Saw It, Chandler and Joey from Friends.
Yeah.
They're buddies.
They owned a duck together.
They did what?
They owned a duck together. They had a pet duck for a season or two.
Yep.
Number
That was weird.
5, TV show Best Friends, Never Saw It, Robin and Steve from Stranger Things.
Never watched that one either.
Number 4, Never Saw It, Rachel and Monica from Friends.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I've never seen any of these people. Number 3, Never Saw It, Walter White and Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad.
They really weren't really friends.
It's more of like a father-son
Yeah.
type dynamic.
Yeah.
Sometimes they hated each other a lot.
Very dysfunctional. Tried to kill each other multiple
Yeah.
times.
Number 2, again with this Wednesday show, Never Saw It, Wednesday and Enid. And number 1, Never Saw It, Olivia Benson and Elliot Stabler from Law Plus Order.
Oh, I love me some Law and Order.
How did SpongeBob and Patrick not make it?
I was
It's
going
a
to say
shame.
Bert and Ernie.
SpongeBob and Pedro. What was his name? Patrick. Right, Bert and Ernie. This is where I said earlier that Beavis and Butthead might come up. Why? How in the hell are Beavis and Butthead not one of the top 10 television friends? They spend every day on the couch together.
You never see one without the other.
They do seem to hate each other, though, at times.
That's a good point.
And I got to be honest, Butthead's a little mean to Beavis.
He sure is.
Totally.
Oh, yes.
Just a mean.
Damn it, Beavis.
Butthead is a little mean
Yeah,
to
just a
Beavis.
little.
He is. What about
I'm not
Al?
trying to exaggerate.
Where's Al Bundy and Jefferson Darcy?
Oh, good characters
They went
there.
on so many adventures together. They went to the Boom Boom Room. So there you go. All right. We better get going. Ooh, good one, Keystone Light Jesus. I was going to bring this up. Arnold and Dudley from Different Strokes. They were great pals. Great pals. And you're a great crowd. We appreciate you tuning in. We got a hell of a Thursday program on the way. We'll take a break. We'll come right back.
Half-assed morning show.
69. This show sucks. Who are you, fart knockers?
93X.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
Are you currently enjoying the show on the Stitcher app? Then you need to know Stitcher is going away on August 29th. Yep, going away, as in kaput, gone, dead. Rest in peace, Stitcher, and thanks for 15 years of service to the podcast community. So switch to another podcast app and follow this show there. Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-assed morning show.
Here we go. You know, Josh, we were talking about television best friends. There was a top 10 coughed up on television programming's best friends, like whatever, Monica and Sophie from Friends, George and Raymond from Seinfeld, whatever.
Raymond.
You know the people I'm talking about. Of
course.
George
You
and...
don't know the people you're talking
No,
about.
I don't. That's why. TV best friends, the top 10 that we had. I got to believe, Josh, if that list was expanded a little bit, Ren and Stimpy would be on the list.
I would hope so.
I loved that program.
Wapple, is that the one you're in? No, you're into Rick and Morty.
Yeah, Rick and Morty.
Or did you like Ren and Stimpy?
Nah, I never really got into that one.
Oh, man. They were always sick and miserable and dying and diseased. It was absolutely hilarious. Loved Ren and... If you don't know Ren and Stimpy, it's equal parts hilarious and depressing as all hell.
And it was shown on a kids' network.
Was it really?
It was on Nickelodeon.
Here we go with the stupid news, and we got a real treat for you to start off today's segment. Gather the family or your coworkers around the radio so you can clearly hear the loudest female burp in the world?
I think the best belcher I've ever met is a woman.
Oh, not me.
Not me.
You know, it was a guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know him. House.
Oh, sure.
House.
I could see that.
Can burp like a lion in the friggin' zoo. You know what I mean?
I'd like to hope I could be in the same, like hang out in the same crew as him, because I can burp pretty well.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, one of my buddies, Zach, he can burp really good. Oh, and then now that I think about it, another one, a girl. She's a very loud burper.
The year was 1993, a little town called Moorhead, Minnesota.
Sure.
And so there was a girl in our group of friends who, she was the first vegan I'd ever met, right? And so whatever she did to herself, you know, whatever she was eating, that was a bad way to phrase it. Whatever her diet. Caused her to be gassy, unfortunately, from both ends.
That sucks.
But the burping was like where you'd say, wait, save it. We got to get a couple people over here. They have to experience this.
A few years ago, we used to play beer league softball. 11, maybe 12 division championships, just to be the record, just to be exact, or for the record. 11 or 12 division championships. House was a member of that team, and we used to go drink and eat afterwards at Lone Spur in Minnetonka. Now it's someone looked that spot up. It's Hopkins Crossroads. Text me 651-989-9393. Now it's like a place where girls wear sexy outfits. The old Lone Spur. Now what is it? Text me. I know some of you know. But we'd go there after softball and eat piles of wings and drink beer. And House could come up with these insane burps. And one time we were leaving the bar. We're walking out into the parking lot. And House does one of these where he just kind of dials back and just... and a lady in the parking lot went... he frightened her. She didn't know what it was. She didn't know if a dragon from Game of Thrones was diving down to... It was...
Lone Spur is now at Rax.
Rax!
Oh, sure.
That's right.
We got one of those in Egan.
Yeah,
well, maybe that's Burnsville there.
Those servers don't wear much clothes.
That's a good business strategy, I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
So the loudest female burp in the world has been registered. Guinness made it official, the whole thing. The gal who unloaded it comes from Maryland. Her name is being Kimberly Winter. Her friends call her Kimmy Cola.
My name is Kim, or better known as Kimmy Cola on TikTok, and I just broke the world record for women's loudest burp. What I do to prepare for a big burp is I just take a deep breath in and try to manipulate that into something monstrous and magical.
Oh, she sounds cute.
Yeah, she's cute.
107.3 decibels. The gas that came bubbling up from her belly was recorded, and it measured in at a record-setting 107.3 decibels. They say that's comparable to a lawnmower or a motorcycle.
107.3.
She broke the record by just a hair. The old record was 107 decibels on the nuts. Some lady in Italy held that record for a smooth 14 years before Kimmy Cola came around and dumped that one on the fellas at Guinness. The loudest male burp of all time, a dude from Australia named Neville. Isn't that kind of fitting? Doesn't that sound Australian? Neville?
Yeah.
Neville Sharp of Australia. He set the bros record a couple years ago. What did he cough up here? 112 some odd decibels. So there you go. Congratulations, Kimmy Cola.
That's a big... I like that she had a crowd there watching.
Oh, people were pumped.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Standing room only. That was a loud burp, Cubby. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Well, I'd like to hear it in person. From a distance.
Yeah.
And off to the side.
Yeah, maybe off the side and behind her.
Yeah.
Now,
oh, Wapple just texted me. That's my new Wapple text tone.
Now, the story goes into detail on burping facts and such. Do you want me to go ahead with that?
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious.
It can be considered, you probably heard this before, it can be considered rude or poor manners in the United States and in Western culture, but in Taiwan and Japan, or not Taiwan and Japan, Taiwan and China, they consider it a form of flattery.
I've heard that before, but I still think I'd be embarrassed or just a little nervous to do that. Like, somebody serves you a meal and you just burp super loud.
Gross.
Now you got the burps, then you got to go ahead and talk about the farts, too. According to someone called Reuters, the world's oldest joke is a fart joke.
As it should be.
That dates back to 1900 BC. Now, I'll tell you the joke. I'm not able to follow it. It goes like this. This is supposedly the world's oldest joke, and it's a fart joke. Something which has never occurred since time immemorial. A young woman did not fart in her husband's lap.
What?
Yeah.
Doesn't exactly send you falling off your chair, does it?
We had to be alive in 1900 BC, I guess, to get the reference.
Maybe I'm not the brightest guy in the world, but I don't think that one's going to be a big hit on Russell Simmons' Def Comedy Jam. So it says here, a closing statement here in the article. Humans have been cracking jokes about passing gas, burping, and farting for thousands and thousands of years. It's about time we got back to celebrating these records beyond just the Guinness Book of World Records. I'm not sure what they're saying there, and I kind of wish I would have edited that out. But we got the lady. 107 point some odd decibels, loudest burp ever by a female.
Gosh, there's a couple people that don't want to hear it again, and you know what that does.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't they want to hear it again?
I don't know. Like Pickle Rick, he thinks it's gross.
Pickle Rick is gross. F him. Play it.
I mean, I got my thumb right on the space bar.
Well, what if I just ran into you or bumped into you a little bit? Then it could be my fault.
That's the people celebrating. Here you go, Pickle Rick. I pray he's wearing headphones.
All right, now someone wants to hear the loud orgasm guy and the loud burp lady at the same time.
Oh, at the same time.
Oh, no.
Same time.
Right,
Same time. We'll see if he can... One more time.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
Beer will make you burp.
Very true.
By damn. If you dig beer... and you also enjoy doing hippy-dippy, environmentally friendly things, then this here next story might make you want to break out the hacky sack and have a little party. A California company that knows the ins and outs of water recycling has stirred up a new beer made from a residential building's wastewater.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
So more or less toilet water in my beer. And here come the text messages about whatever beer our listeners don't like, but this is in San Francisco. The company out there is called Epic Clean Tech, a water treatment company. They teamed up with the very likely heavily bearded fellas at a brewery over there called Devil's Canyon Brewing Company to create a beer called Epic One Water Brew. Now, I don't have the beard or the axe-throwing skills or the flannel shirt collection or the knowledge to know what this means, but it says here, Epic One Water Beer is a Kolsch-style ale.
I've heard that word. I don't know what it means.
I've never heard it before.
But they made it by recycling water from showers, sinks, and washing machines from a local apartment building.
I heard you say something about it being gross, Dana.
Yeah.
All right. Let's say one of the residents in this building was Anna Kendrick.
Oh!
Oh, yeah. I'll drink that bath water all day long.
You're gonna get drunk on that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, a guy who runs things over there at Epic Clean Tech, his name is Aaron Tartakovsky. He says, and I don't know what he's saying, but I'm going to go ahead anyway. He says, buildings globally use 14% of all potable water. Almost no buildings reuse that water. That's what we're trying to change. The beer's not currently for sale. There are regulations against recycling wastewater and putting it in a commercial beverage. But they did serve it at a conference recently, and they say it was a big hit.
Huh.
Well, sure, go ahead with that.
Would you like to know ahead of time before you started drinking it, or be told while you're drinking the beer?
I want to know ahead of time.
I want to know ahead of time.
You don't
Definitely.
Yeah, I'd probably want to know ahead of time. I'd try it.
I would too.
I don't like coffee at all, and we had not a brewery, a coffee shop, I guess.
Sure.
That served that cat poop coffee.
Oh yeah.
You know, where the cat digests the beans and then they brew coffee out of it. I couldn't tell the difference.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I'm not a coffee like you're kind of a coffee person, aren't you, Ashley?
Yeah. Yep. I would. Yeah. I think. Hopefully, I would be able to tell the difference.
Nah, it's all gross to me. No matter what you put in it. I've had people say, "Oh, you're not drinking the right thing," or "You got to put this." It doesn't matter. I don't like it.
Cat poop coffee.
Yeah.
I've come to the decision that coffee is just supposed to taste gross. Like I drink black coffee. And people are like, "Whoa, how do you do that? It's so gross." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm very aware that it is gross."
I'm not drinking it for the flavor. I'm drinking it to stay alive.
Yeah, I just want to like get an IV of it.
I've only come to one conclusion when it comes to coffee, Ashley, and that is no one should talk to me until I have my first cup of coffee.
I do like the coffee cups with the line that you can't talk to them if it's above that line.
Oh.
You got to wait.
You know, Josh, you know what I think would be fun if you and I went to the toilet water turned into beer convention together.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be your guinea pig. You can be the beer representative, and you just have a cooler full of the toilet water beer, and you hand me the beer, I crack it, I start drinking it, and you say, "This beer is made from toilet water," and I do a spit take, and we just do that over and over and over and over again. That'd be great.
You know what they should do is they should have a just like a working toilet where they fill the tank with the beer, they flush it, and that's how they fill your cup.
Yeah,
That'd be a cute trick.
I think that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
Now, this will be the second story of the week dealing with the hardcore sexual habits of the peaceful, warm, and friendly manatee. So I understand if you're concerned about us because, hell, most weeks, months, even years go by where manatee sex never becomes part of a on-air conversation around here. We're okay. Sex sells, right, Josh?
It does.
This is just a simple old strategy that sex sells. That's all this is. If you were listening earlier this week, we had the tragic story of two captive manatees that had sex for so long and with so much fervor that one of them just upped and died. When it was all over, the poor bastard just sank to the bottom of the tank that they lived in, and he crossed the Rainbow Bridge, I think they say.
And they were brothers.
In case you missed that story, the manatees that were power bombing each other sexually for hours, they were brothers.
I mean, these manatees, they've got right now with the writer's strike, because as we know from South Park, manatees write family guy.
That's true.
Oh.
So the writer's strike, what else are they going to do?
That's
They're
true.
just humping around.
Just bang each other.
It was manatees, right?
Yep.
That South Park said writes family guy?
Yeah. Just picking random events, like pick a character, pick Peter, hockey, and then, something else, and they add in another reference, and that's how they do all their cutscenes. Just grabbing them by random.
Here's the latest. Florida cops are asking the locals down there to stop calling them because manatees are having sex. It's manatee mating season, don't you know? So a few days ago, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office wrote a little something on Facebook. They asked people to give a little privacy to the herds of manatees that are busy smashing gear. Locals are seeing this in the ocean and thinking that something is wrong and calling the cops. And the cops are saying, "No, don't bother us with this. This is just nature." The cops included a video showing about a dozen of the adorable sea cows writhing around on top of each other like it was Manatee prom night. And the cops even added the old Marvin Gaye song, Let's Get It Smooth On.
Classic.
The sheriff's office also said we get calls all the time from citizens when they see this, believing the manatees are in distress. We can assure you they are more than fine. Now, just like folks here north of 694, manatees bump uglies all year round. But mating herds are most commonly seen during the hot summer months. Apparently, in shallower waters, it can be quite a scene. The manatees create a damn wake. All you see is flippers and a smiling manatee face pops up out of the water once in a while. They say, you got to let the manatees fold. Apparently, they're not doing so well these days, which is too bad. It's ridiculous, but, you know, we're surrounded by so many dumbass social media clowns these days that the cops had to make a point of telling everybody not to jump in the water and interrupt a manatee orgy.
How would that thought cross your mind?
You'll F up the mating process. And also, these are large friggin' critters. They could roll over and kill you dead. And this is cute. They say when a lady manatee is ready to, get her, the dude manatees gather around her and they proceed to shove each other out of the way in hopes that the gal will notice them as opposed to the other bros. No, not this one. Check this out. It kind of reminds me of a junior high dance. Yeah. You know what I mean? I hope they make a hell of a pile of baby sea cows this year. Have you ever seen a baby manatee?
I have.
They're freaking adorable.
They are.
Are they? Let me see.
I wanna hold them on my lap and rock them to sleep. A baby manatee. Ashley, you're going to want to put a Golden Gopher hockey jersey on a baby manatee and put it in a baby stroller and take it around the lake once you see one on Google Images.
This thing is so adorable.
Yes.
Oh, I just want to hold it. Look at its little face. It's all scrunchy.
You got a scrunchy face. Ross, your name isn't Ross.
Oh, no.
Josh?
Yeah.
Is it okay if the two of us parent a baby manatee?
I don't know if there'd probably be a lot of people that have a problem with it, but as long as we're happy, I think we should.
I'd support you guys.
I mean, they grow to only be what? 1,000 pounds?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
About 10 feet.
We're not going to keep
9
it
feet.
until it's grown.
We're just going to abandon it?
Yes, of course we're going to abandon it. They only stay cute for so long, like real people.
No, you can do it with real kids,
like
but you can't do that with animals.
You might want to check this out. Another airplane pilot drew a penis-shaped flight pattern.
I do like this kind of thing.
But what's different about this one, and I believe this makes it 10 times more fun, this flight pattern dong was drawn out of anger.
Oh.
Last Friday, somebody called Lufthansa Airlines had one of those airplanes headed for a town called Catania. But it was diverted to Malta. And that pissed the pilot right off. He must not like Malta. So the pilot steered the plane in a penis-shaped flight pattern, and everybody who's able to follow the pattern on radar laughed their asses off.
I bet.
He made a big fat D.
With the balls.
Did he make balls?
Yeah, he made balls.
Oh, they didn't mention the balls in the article. They mentioned that the shaft he made was 15 miles long.
Whoa.
You
I
can
didn't know
see it
about
on
them.
93x.com. Yeah. Yeah, he included the balls.
That's got to be the hard part, right? You're going to make everybody dizzy, depending on the size of the coins that you draw out, right?
They look pretty even, too.
Yeah,
Did
it's
a pretty good job.
proportionate.
Yeah.
Proportionate. Please tell me that's a word so I don't feel like a fool.
Yeah,
Okay.
you nailed it.
Proportionate.
I love that the dude did this out of anger. He's having a little tantrum there behind the wheel of the airplane.
It makes it better, doesn't it?
And he decides to draw a dong. Eventually, after 15-20, it took him 15-20 minutes to draw out the penis and and then he made his way to Malta. All sorts of airplanes have gotten in on this gimmick. It's a big hit.
Can you do that with cars? Like, will an app trace your route?
I know you can do it if you're like biking or running.
Then they must have it with cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
You know, with the roundabouts nowadays,
Oh, yeah.
I bet I could draw, pretty nice penis.
Oh, I know what you're doing today.
I'll be planning that out.
Yeah.
An article recently recognized Climax, Minnesota as one of the rudest town names in America. I thought rudest was an interesting way to put it.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, dirtiest, I guess, is what they mean. Climax, Minnesota, way the hell up there by effing Crookston, I think. Anybody know Climax?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Climax was founded in 1896 and is actually named after a chewing tobacco company. Oh. But people caught on to the fun, and they've been having laughs about it ever since. The official slogan for Climax was or is Climax. More than just a feeling.
Nice. I'm really glad they took this opportunity to be funny.
What? Why not? Are you being
What?
sarcastic?
No, I'm not being sarcastic. Did I sound sarcastic?
You sounded really sarcastic.
Oh, no.
We need
I'm
to
being
work on your
genuine.
sarcasm.
Sorry.
We need to work on it. I was wondering the same thing. I was wondering, is she being pissy about this?
You'd think you'd appreciate that.
The article also named some other towns in America as rude or dirty. Hornytown, North Carolina. Hooker, Oklahoma. Intercourse, Pennsylvania. I
They
knew
gotta have we mentioned this before when we talk about places like this. Your sign budget, that's going to be up there. A good
Yeah.
portion of your tax dollars are going for signs.
Every year, the seniors in high school are going to peel the sign loose off its moorings and take it to their frat house the next year.
Isn't there a Cummings, Minnesota?
I think so,
within- Pretty close to Climax.
I have a friend from Climax, and she talks. It's one of those situations where it's like, yeah, I've heard that joke before. Yep, it's a sex term.
I'd embrace it.
I bet they get tired of it. One of my favorite all-time local tag team wrestling duos billed themselves back in the day from Intercourse, Pennsylvania. And that was Ted Piston Dixon and Dan Casual Sexton.
That's a good name.
I used to see him wrestle at First Avenue. I believe Dan Casual Sexton also went by the ring name of Austin Aries.
Oh.
Now you know who I'm
Now
talking
I know.
about. In the early days, he was Dan Casual Sexton. They were hilarious.
I went to a school with a family of sextons.
Dude.
Sextons. There is, according to the Brotherhood, and I looked it up, it's true. There's a Blue Ball, Pennsylvania.
F me running sideways. Back to Intercourse, Pennsylvania. It was named, they say, at a time when intercourse meant social interaction in a faith-based community. Isn't that what it still means? If
I
you
don't know. Go to church and ask someone if they'd like to engage in some intercourse and see how it goes.
I'll tell you this much, Cubby. There's a T-shirt shop, Summers, that sells T-shirts, and it says this on the front, if you put it on. It says, Virginia is for lovers, but Pennsylvania has intercourse. What up, up, but up, up. All right, finally. Who are you trying to kid? Someone's telling me there's a Big Dick Lake, Minnesota.
No, there's not.
I've been living here my whole life. Don't try to throw a friggin'...
There is.
Yep.
There
yep,
is
there
not.
is.
There is.
I'm
yeah.
going to say there isn't. I'm staying with my
Itasca
answer.
County, there is a Big Dick Lake. According to Wikipedia.
Well, then, Wapple, why did you take that stand about how long you've lived here? When there's always been a Big Dick Lake, Minnesota.
It's right in the Chippewa National Forest.
By Grand Rapids. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Some folks can't get right. I'm sure we all know somebody, maybe multiple people, who can't get right. I was dumb as a bucket when I was 21 years old, for sure, but this effing guy, check this out. A 21-year-old man in Mississippi escaped from a correctional facility last August, just a few months before he was scheduled to be released. Why the hell would a guy do that?
Yeah, maybe just wait it out.
Here's the deal. He was doing a 7-year sentence for aggravated assault. So, you know, a real cutie pie here. Aggravated assault. But he broke smooth out the joint. After he ran his ass away from the prison, He straight upped and broke into a nearby home and held 3 people at gunpoint for hours. Then he stole a car, and then he crashed it. The cops later found him hiding in a trash can like he's Oscar the Grouch or something, and they rearrested him. So he broke out of a correctional facility a few months before he was going to get out anyway. And now he's been sentenced to 40 years in prison.
It sucks.
It's difficult to understand, Cubby.
I'm hoping he thought he had a longer sentence. I mean, you think he'd know?
No one told him?
Maybe he got some bad information or something.
Maybe I'm no longer an authority on lakes with filthy names in the Grand Rapids area, but I still think I'm qualified to make this statement. It's not that difficult to behave. It really isn't.
Especially when you have a relatively short timeline of when you have to just rein it in.
Right.
There's a Little Dick Lake in Minnesota.
Oh.
And within close proximity of Burns Lake and Johnson Lake. There's a Jack the Horse Lake. Come on, this can't be right.
Doesn't sound.
I don't know.
How did we never hear of these before?
I know, yeah, I feel like I've been cheated.
People are keeping these good ones as a secret.
Well, there's a lot of lakes in Minnesota. Not as many as there are in Wisconsin.
I was going to say.
You guys call yourself the land of 10,000, but we actually have more.
You know what I'm picturing? Someone sitting there, their phone was already out and going, oh, you just killed their text message.
That's the fun of it all.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Music has been taken out of this portion of the Half-Assed Morning Show podcast for licensing reasons.
A little bit of Def Leppard here because today is the how many years now?
Well, it's 1987.
97, 2000. I
forgot, 36?
36 friggin' years since that record was released.
You're old, man.
How the F?
Just you.
Where has my life gone that it was 36 years ago that this record friggin' came out? Man. But it's fun to talk about. All right, what's going on around here? The Twins got pumped in St. Louis. Hell, Joe Ryan got straight up DP'd.
Unbelievable.
I know a DP when I see one.
Every time I looked up at the TV, there's another just gong shot just going sailing out of the stadium.
His fastball's just not working. Teams are just teeing off on Joe Ryan's fastball. 7-3 was your final. St. Louis got great starting pitching. Joe Ryan, the opposite. He has now given up 17 yard sales in his last 7 starts. That's not going to cut it. Tonight, they'll go again, 6:45 on Bally Sports North. Sonny Gray on the bump. And let's not forget, Wapple is the next of us to throw out a first pitch at Target Field, and it's happening Sunday. So here's the deal. Ashley airmailed the hell out of it. I airmailed the living hell out of it. What's Wapple going to do?
I'm going to throw it right down the pipe.
Dude,
I hope
he's gonna
so.
throw it perfectly.
I'm going to throw it as hard, as fast as I can.
no.
Are you you're gonna get on the mound, right? Or
I definitely want to, if they'll let me.
1 o'clock game against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Wapple's next. What will happen? We'll find out. Randy Shaver will join us in a half hour. Josh's News is coming up.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
69. This show sucks. Who are you, fart knockers?
93X.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
It's time for kickoff, and the Believe podcast will get you ready for the new season.
How do you live through this as a Detroit sports fan?
Believe has podcasts covering all 32 professional teams and many of your favorite college teams, too.
You solidified your defense. You got better.
Sideline to sideline, end zone to end zone.
If you don't do those things, then you're not even trying your hardest to win at football, and I don't know what we're doing.
There was a lot of great players on those teams that I was fortunate to be part of.
Search BLEAV podcasts wherever you listen.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at ME Flow. You know, you don't have to put off fixing plumbing problems in your home anymore. I mean, you could just ignore that clogged drain or visit meflow.com to take care of your plumbing problems. ME Flow, license 271-001-2450.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
Your prescription right to your front door. No doctor's office visits required.
Thanks, Anne. I'm texting now.
You really can stop drinking or just drink less. Text CLOCK to 323232 to get started today. Text the word CLOCK to 323232. Text CLOCK to 323232.
You're listening to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Traffic is sponsored by Gens Ryan.
Attention experienced HVAC techs and installers. Guaranteed 40 hours of work per week. 100% company paid insurance premiums for you and your whole family. Company provided tools, weekly pay, and more. Visit GensRyan.com to apply now.
There's a crash in Mounds View, 35W southbound at County Road H, and there's debris on the road in Brooklyn Center, 94 westbound at 57th Avenue. That's your traffic. This is 93X.
Traffic's also sponsored by Whole Foods Market.
Get organics you can trust at Whole Foods Market. Save on organic blueberries for $3.79 per pint with Prime through August 8th. Jazz up your pancakes for a fruity twist to your morning. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
In about 14 years of being a prosecutor, that I have never seen a case where this type of abuse was the main allegation.
Oh, it's a weird one. Suspected by law enforcement of stealing women's shoes in California and pleasuring himself while in the act. That means masturbating. A 26-year-old man was arrested Monday for allegedly breaking into two separate condos in neighboring Nevada and then fondling the feet of women asleep inside, concerning police who say his behavior is escalating. Mark Gonzalez is accused of breaking into two condominiums in State Line near the California border through screen doors left unlocked by the residents. Once inside, Gonzalez crept into the victim's bedroom, stood at the edge of the bed creepily. Two women reported he then rubbed their feet. Once awake, they confronted the 26-year-old, but he fled shortly after. In a statement Tuesday, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office said Gonzalez was known to local law enforcement in the area and suspected of numerous crimes, including stealing women's shoes, trespassing, and sexual self-gratification during some of those incidents. That means masturbating.
Mm-hmm.
As for alleged toe-sucking incidents during break-ins and burglaries, national statistics are unavailable, but there does seem to be a reoccurring theme. Last month, police in Lake Tahoe were on the lookout for a prowler breaking into hotel rooms and fondling women's feet. And in May, a man sleeping at a Hilton hotel in Tennessee allegedly awoke one morning to find a hotel employee suckling his feet.
I got a way to stop these fools. I got to go undercover.
They, like literally, they pull the covers back, see your feet, and then they straighten out their ways.
Like say Ashley lies in a bed, but stick my feet out from under the covers. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, okay.
And they start licking at this mess that I've got going on. They'll never come back to feet ever again.
Or they are extra committed.
Oh,
they are the king of that business. A Florida man was rudely awakened around 3:45 a.m. Monday by his ex-wife, who ripped off his CPAP machine while he was sleeping. Even though the couple divorced in 2009, investigators say 42-year-old Jennifer Calendera and the victim lived together in a St. Petersburg home owned by the 42-year-old victim.
Ooh, see, that's a whole different animal right there. A divorced couple that still lives together?
Yeah, it's a little unclear if they've lived together since 2009 or if it was recent. The report put in a rental agreement that was somewhat recent, where she started renting from him, but they say it could be a lot longer she's lived there. According to the man, he was asleep in his bed early Monday, CPAP in place. That's when his ex came into the room and ripped the breathing device off his face, leaving him with a bloody cut on his lower lip. She then began arguing with him, he said.
He was sleeping. What's there to argue about?
I don't know why she was so mad.
That'll shake a fool right out of a dead sleep, too. You tear that CPAP machine off his face.
A judge ordered her not to have any contact with her former husband. So she's got to move.
I'd love to hear more about if we have any folks in our listening audience who have lived for long periods of time with their ex.
Sounds
awful. I'm not talking about ex-boyfriend or girlfriend. I'm talking about ex-wife or ex-husband. I wonder what that's like. I wonder if we have who in our listening audience has the record for longest time living with an ex, and what is that adventure like?
I'd be interested in that. And can you bring people home?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the big one.
Right. What happens when you bring home a stranger?
Oh, that'd be so awful.
I imagine you don't stop fighting.
But there's
amicable
amicable split, sure. But I don't want to hear about the amicable ones. To be very clear, I want to hear about the nightmares.
Yeah, the crazy stories.
Give me the messy stuff.
I'm going to go to my text machine here, Cubby, on the 36th anniversary of the release of Hysteria by Def Leppard.
Police in our friend Janelle Klein's hometown of Faribault seized 22 suspected cannabis plants from a tobacco store Tuesday, the first day the state of Minnesota legalized the possession and use of marijuana. However, it is still illegal to sell the plant and will be until at least 2024 or 2025 due to the state needing to get its dispensary licensing system up and running. Several citizens' complaints were made about the business selling marijuana plants in a parking lot tent sale. According to the city, the plants were seized. No arrests were made. Tribal governments not subject to state statutes can sell recreational pot immediately. The only areas in the state allowed to sell recreational cannabis are the tribal nations of Red Lake Nation and White Earth. The Minnesota State Fair announced this week they will prohibit marijuana smoking on fairgrounds this summer, including the fair's designated smoking areas.
Lame.
Leave your weed at home, kids.
Does that change your plans, Ashley?
The State Fair just reeks like weed.
An update to the event's health and safety simply states marijuana smoking is prohibited throughout the fairgrounds. And Channel 9 reports that following the legalization of marijuana in Minnesota, some drug-sniffing canines here will need to retire.
We can't untrain them from smelling marijuana. They're not doing narcotic searches because we can't train the dog to differentiate between marijuana and meth, for example.
The report said legalization means they can't sniff for drugs anymore, but some may remain on patrol duty as their careers come to an end.
Hey, Cubby.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind me going to some text messages here on the topic of living with your ex-wife or ex-husband?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm very fascinated.
They are rolling in, and the average length of time that I've seen here so far from text messages on how long couples have lived together after getting a divorce, the average time I'm seeing here is about 2 years.
What?
That's what I would think.
That's what you would think? Why do you say that?
Well, if they were living with their spouse still, 2 years seems about right.
Just time to find a place, save up some money.
Right. That seems like an extremely long period of time to me. But here's just one example, and then maybe we can get to these later. Fat Cat Performance Jesus. Lived with my ex-wife for almost 2 years after we got divorced. I'd just bring women over after she went to sleep, but the remarks in the morning were sometimes hilarious. Yeah, you had a hard time getting that one through the door, didn't you there, stud? That kind of thing. I imagine the wife had some cute comments.
Would that be a deal breaker for you, Ashley? You meet a guy at a bar and he's like, hey, you decide you want to go back to this place. He goes, but we got to be quiet. My ex-wife is sleeping in the next room.
Yeah, absolutely. I would never go over there.
Wouldn't have slowed me and Cubby down in our heyday.
I don't want to die.
Hell no.
I know how girls work.
Oh, hell no.
Well, in that case, could you explain them to the rest of us? I have some uncertainties. My house for a while, I used to call it the Boar's Nest, a reference to Dukes of Hazzard, the bar they'd hang out there. And
sure.
Because I would have, a lot of my friends around that age or family members or cops, and there's a high divorce rate in that field, and so they were going through divorce, and then they'd stay at my house. So I had a few police officers over the years, and then two buddies. That one buddy lived with me for a couple of years.
Wow.
Just like I was saying, saving up to get a place.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you had a wheelhouse of divorcees? Is that how you say it?
Yeah. And some are going through a divorce.
Yeah.
You had a couple kind of bitter, and unfortunately, I received some of that anger, even though I was
that's not fair.
Opening up my home.
I'm pretty sure you offered me, Josh.
I did.
Yeah.
It was an empty offer, one that I prayed you wouldn't take me up on. But you're right. I explained I have experience in this. You're welcome to come live with us.
I forgot that. There was a stretch of time where any divorce, any divorced couple, usually the dude came and lived with you for a stretch of time.
Yeah. And, so at the time, in one case, I was a bit promiscuous. The only window in my life where I was that way, a couple of years of that. And so I had bought some really nice sheets. I'd never done that before. And I spent more than $30 on one of those packs that come with everything, right?
Yeah.
And so I bought a nice comforter, and then my buddy called with the day I got it. And he's like, hey, I need a place to stay. And I didn't have an extra comforter, so I gave him that one, like the only one I spent some real money on.
Yeah.
I never got to use it.
Oh,
dude.
that's messed up. You're so nice.
So I bought him a nice comforter, kind of by accident.
Man.
Nordstrom's, not Target.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nordstrom's.
wow,
Fancy,
dude.
huh?
Big bucks.
That was
right.
pricey.
That's right. You'd sleep with me. Yeah. A man who showed up late to his American Airlines flight from the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport Monday afternoon expressed his displeasure by making a bomb threat, as people do today. Authorities said 30-year-old Vincent Serino showed up to the gate. He was told the flight was closed, and then enraged, he said to the gate agent, "I'm going to blow this S up.
Oh, no.
I'm going to take you all out," prompting her to call 911. The sheriff's deputies arrested him soon after. When I attempted to advise Serino of his Miranda rights, he refused to allow it. Deputy Christopher Anderson wrote in his arrest report. Once again, he became enraged and was swearing at me and raising his voice. Well, it's their fault for being on time. And
that is not right.
For being late. A former Boston high school principal is charged with misuse of nearly $40,000 in school funds for personal use, including 2 luxurious all-inclusive vacations to Barbados. Nyaya Wilson, who served as New Mission High School's principal for 13 years, admitted to authorities she committed wire fraud in the elaborate scheme. The 60-year-old educator allegedly fraudulently endorsed checks to herself and then deposited those into her own bank account. She repeated the scheme for trips to Barbados in 2016 and again in 2018, and even requested checks for 2 of her friends who accompanied her on those vacations. Instead of working honestly on behalf of her students, Wilson's accused of abusing her authority and using the school's budget as her own personal slush fund to embezzle tens of thousands of dollars to fund 2 all-inclusive vacations for herself and her friends, the FBI said.
Boston Public Schools Superintendent Mary Skipper releasing a statement reading in part, "Our student resources are precious, and we are committed to ensuring our students are always put first. Since these incidents, the Boston Public Schools has implemented additional internal protocols and procedures to prevent a situation like this from happening again."
That's a statement from the school district. Wilson's misuse of funds comes nearly a year after a Catholic high school teacher in Washington, D.C. was sentenced to 30 months in prison for embezzling $175,000 meant for student services. Prosecutors said 49-year-old Bridget Coates used funds to purchase designer fashion from luxury brands and to help her qualify for a mortgage.
That's pretty crooked right there, Josh.
It is. A Georgia fugitive pretending to be a missionary was indicted on accusations he misdirected $30 million from donors who thought they were buying Bibles for China. How much does a Bible cost?
Jeez, no kidding.
Instead, prosecutors say Jason Schenk used about $1 million for payments to an online gambling site. He bought diamonds, gold, and life insurance policies. He made payments to the company running his family farm, among other purchases. The 45-year-old got the money from groups and individuals in Ohio and North Carolina who believed the money would buy Bibles and religious literature for people in China. The former Dublin, Georgia resident presented himself as a missionary to the people. He was not a missionary. He's a crook. He renounced his U.S. citizenship in 2016, and the Justice Department said warrants have been issued for his arrest. Prosecutors say he's being sought internationally. $30 million.
And Bibles.
Miami police are looking for a woman they suspect of going to the home with a man after a night out at a club in order to steal his Rolexes and phone after he fell asleep.
Chicks are shady.
She was seen staring seductively at the victim in surveillance footage from July 25th.
These are super clear images of her. We know that somebody's going to see her and either know that they were also a victim or that they know who she is.
According to a police report, the victim said he was highly intoxicated after leaving the club with the woman about 2:30 a.m. that morning. He said he didn't remember much about what happened afterward, but woke up to find his watches and cell phone missing.
Sucks.
The 2 watches were worth about $115,000. According to the report, he told investigators he believes someone may have put something in his drink at the club. The case is similar to a May 8th incident in the same area where a woman's suspected of meeting a victim in a bar, going home with him, then taking $600,000 in Rolexes and other jewelry after he fell asleep. Police didn't say if those cases were connected.
Who are these dudes running around with $600,000 worth of jewelry?
I don't know, but to me, that's smart money right there. Good call. A man driving a Google mapping vehicle ended up crashing into a creek after allegedly leading police in Indiana on a high-speed chase. 37-year-old Coleman Ferguson, allegedly spotted by Middletown Police Chief Landon Dean, sweet name, driving at 100 miles an hour. Dean identified the car as a Google mapping car. It had several 360-degree cameras mounted on a tail antenna on top. The Google vehicle refused to stop, police said. After trying to make a left turn due to a bridge being out, the car lost control and drove through a yard into a creek where it became stuck. Ferguson said he worked for Google and he ran because he was scared to stop. Thought he might get in trouble with the company.
So he did or he did not really work for Google?
He did. Yeah.
Don't you think that'd be a fun gig?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Driving one of those mapping cars?
I would love that, yeah.
For sure. I get kind of excited when I see those for some reason. I like a kid.
I'm like a part of the Facebook group from where I used to live, and like people were posting the Google car was there not too long ago, and people were freaking out, posting pictures like, look who's in town.
Like in the old days, it was the ice cream man.
I was just going to say that.
Now it's the
there's still that excitement.
Is there?
Oh, yeah.
I heard him rumbling through town the other day with that evil song that he pumps out of his intercom trying to get us to buy his ice cream.
They get me every time. Those stupid SpongeBob ones.
I ignored him.
I can tell you.
Gave him the finger.
He's popular. He's probably got that before. He's popular in the neighborhood.
I don't have one in my neighborhood. I'm jealous now.
The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is warning that cases of leprosy are surging in Florida. Leprosy?
Are you kidding me?
The infectious disease primarily affects the skin and nervous system and can be easy to treat if caught early.
Jeez.
But the CDC said it should be considered when making travel plans. They're that concerned. Leprosy has been historically uncommon in the U.S., but has more than doubled in the South over the last 10 years.
Definitely is leprosy in the United States. Now, most of it is imported, but we do have homegrown leprosy here, principally in Texas and Florida.
Yeah, I got a buddy who goes back and forth from Florida all the time. Maybe it's time for that relationship to come to an end.
Yeah. Tell him, leave the leprosy down there.
I don't want him dumping leprosy on me.
I don't think I've heard of leprosy since like stories in the Bible.
Yeah.
Back to the Bible there. The CDC said if untreated, the disease can progress to paralysis, blindness, loss of eyebrows, physical disfigurement, loud cracking of the nipples, and even the crippling of hands and feet.
If you have something that's like, a few centimeters on your arm and you can't feel it, that's going to be different from a typical rash, which is going to be itchy or some other way that you would, identify with a normal rash.
In the case report issued Monday, the CDC said Central Florida has accounted for 81% of reported cases in the state and almost 1/5 of reported cases nationwide.
I want no part of it, Josh.
I don't want it either. I mean, you always heard stories of like parts of your body falling off.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The NFL preseason gets started tonight with the Jets and Browns for the NFL Hall of Fame game on NBC.
If you turn this on for even 5 minutes, you're a bad person.
Already
You're
set
a
the
bad
DVR.
person.
No Aaron Rodgers tonight for the Jets. Football fans instead will get another look at the MILF man. Zach Wilson will be under center. The Browns will be resting most of their starters as well. The Lollapalooza live stream begins today on Hulu and goes through Sunday.
The Lollapalooza live stream?
Yeah. Is that where our boss is? I know he's out of town.
Oh, is that Chicago?
I think so.
The boss is gone?
I believe so.
How'd you guys know the boss was gone? He's never here.
Somebody else told me.
Yeah, I was told. I was told he was gone.
Lollapalooza, they're still putting that show on, huh?
They sure are.
What's going on this time?
There's a lot of bands on that thing.
Friends.
Today through Sunday.
I don't know. They might hate me for telling this story, but I won't say their names, so that'll make it better. They went to Lollapalooza one year, and they took like the train in Chicago or whatever it is, the subway.
The L?
No clue, but they took some acid a little too early.
Oops.
And they ended up spending like 4 hours on the train situation. They barely saw any of the show.
Boy, acid. That's another thing I haven't heard of in a long time. Acid. People don't talk about acid like they used to.
No, it's not hot anymore.
Let's bring acid back.
From now on, Ashley, if I invite you to anything, I mean just you. You're not up to bring any of your friends.
Well, they might not show up, it sounds like. Part 2 of the second season of The Lincoln Lawyer, now on Netflix. Then the Super Mario Brothers movie is streaming on Peacock today, but for Peacock Premium subscribers only, so you got to be someone who is signed up for that. Today is the last day to register for the Shaver Shuffle 5K. Run, jog, walk, or shuffle your way to raising funds for the Randy Shaver Cancer Research Fund. Great cause, of course. Plenty of prizes and a rare opportunity to see Randy in his signature spandex shorts, which leave nothing to the imagination. You can show up in person Saturday in Plymouth at 9 a.m. or sign up to run virtually any day this month. Check out our website for more information. And if you're interested, again, make sure you register because today is your last opportunity. Tom Brady will be doing 46 better than anyone else today. Metallica's James Hetfield's 60. Dr. Cox on Scrubs, John C. McGinley, who also plays the boss Bob in Office Space, 64. And the prolific and revered actor who sired both Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen, Martin Sheen, 83 today. In the Brotherhood, BC Chem Jesus shouting out his brother and friends at Caterpillar and Maple Grove. Shout out to Mike and Katie having their baby boy. Happy birthday to Ken. Happy birthday to Jordan from the Landscapers at Scenic Grounds. Happy 23rd to Moose Nuts Jesus. And happy birthday to the girl from Clock Sucking Jesus. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Shootout, here's Bellinger. RBI single his first time, man at third. Swing and a high fly ball, right field, way back, look out! Out of here, off the scoreboard! Holy cow! 405 feet. Did he just damage the scoreboard? I believe he damaged the scoreboard.
I think we got some lights out there.
Lights are out. 105.9.
Somebody call engineering. Call maintenance.
Get maintenance on the horn, please.
Hello, Randy Shaver.
Hello.
Cody Bellinger of your Chicago Cubs got a dong out the other night at Wrigley Field, and the baseball kind of mangled one corner of the scoreboard over there.
Wow.
That's on 93X.
Comeback player of the year in the National League.
All right. I'll go along with that.
Cody Bellinger.
Ashley said that video's up on 93x.com.
Yep.
She sure did.
He was awful in Los Angeles, struggled terribly with the Dodgers. He ends up signing with the Cubs, and he's just had a lights-out year.
Cody Bellinger. All right, I'll keep an eye out on that kid. Hey, Randy.
Yeah?
Do you want to hear the loudest female burp ever recorded?
Of course you have a copy of it.
I thought that Randy Shaver would enjoy this, Josh. If you take your time, if you can find
yeah, I
this.
got it, sure.
A lady in Maryland, I think it was, recently gathered the folks from Guinness World Records and said, look, I can burp louder than anybody in the world. And she broke the all-time decibel record for loudest female burp.
Does she have a sister?
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on. That was real?
That was real. Watched her do it on video.
107 some odd decibels. They compare that to a motorbike or what was it? What was the other thing? A lawnmower and a chainsaw and a log splitter all going at once.
For guys, it was 112 decibels. That's the male record.
What do you think about that?
Wow.
You got any hidden talents like that?
No, I do not.
No?
Not like that. I'm not so sure that's a talent.
Well, if you're in middle school, it definitely is.
I suppose, yeah. Right. Boy, that would impress the friends.
You know what's going to happen is she's going to end up with a spontaneous pneumothorax.
Possibly.
She's going to end up with a collapsed lung. You keep forcing that kind of air out. And I had one of those when I was 14, and that was not a lot of laughs. Not a lot.
Some, though?
Not a lot. Got a text message here from Killer Jesus. He's a regular. We appreciate this, Killer Jesus. He texted in and says, man, the Twins are struggling. I sure wish they could play some of these last place teams. Oh, wait, he says. The Twins, pumped.
Wow.
Joe Ryan, pumped.
17 home runs in his last 7 starts, which is a new Twins record.
Is that a new Twins record?
Over a 7-start stretch.
Wee doggy, they're hitting the long ball off of old Joe Ryan.
Listening to Roy Smalley last night, try to figure out exactly what's going on with Ryan and why he struggled so much. And Ryan, I read a couple of comments from him after the game last night where he took the long sleeve undershirt off during the season or during the game.
Yes, he did.
He's tried to throw the ball tried an over the head wind up.
Right.
I mean, he's trying everything to figure out what's going on? What's the problem? But the bottom line is
it's not working.
He's given up 48 hits and 31 runs in his last 32 innings. That's an ERA over 8.
He's been getting poked.
Yeah,
Cardinals won 7-3 last night. St. Louis got great starting pitching from this kid, Dakota Hudson.
Yeah.
Matt Wallner hit a 3-run dong off the kid, but overall that Hudson was great.
Yeah. And I will say in Ryan's defense, like the home run that O'Neill hit last night that made it 1-0.
Kind of golfed it out of there?
Yeah, that was a good pitch.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't right down the middle. Give O'Neill some credit for hitting that home run, but I mean, that's kind of the way it's been going for Joe Ryan. You know, even the pitches he feels like are good pitches by him, they're still hitting hard. So
the Twins lost their 6th game in the last 7 tries, if that makes sense.
Yep.
6 loss in their last 7. How about Randy Shaver? You know I love to try to teach you a thing or two about history. Last night, the Cardinals won their 9,999th regular season game.
Oh, wow.
Since their team name was changed to the Cardinals in the year 1900. Their 9,999th regular season. Hopefully tonight they don't win their 10,000th. They'll go again tonight, 6:45. Sonny Gregg in a pitch.
Quite the milestone.
In 1900, they went ahead and changed the team name to the Cardinals. Before that, there's no way anyone could guess, right, what their team name was before the Cardinals in 1899.
The Geese.
Good guess.
I'm going to say the Browns.
They were the St. Louis Perfectos.
The Perfectos.
Isn't that what folks called a cigarette back in the day? Or a cigar?
That sounds, a cigar.
Cigar was a perfecto? I don't know if that was the direct reference. Jump in the carriage, son. We're heading off to the Perfectos game. That's how they sounded back in 1890.
That's actually kind of a snappy name.
I like it.
That. Yeah.
See, once the Twins are done in St. Louis, they come home to play the Diamondbacks. An Arizona Diamondbacks pitcher will never forget his first career strikeout. Very Italian here. Is Josh Slade Ciccone?
I think that's how you'd pronounce that.
Slade is an interesting first name,
like that
too.
name.
Ciccone, Arizona Diamondbacks rookie pitcher Slade Ciccone. You got to see this. He made his big league debut last night, pitching against the San Francisco Giants. He faced Lamont Wade Jr. to begin the bottom of the first inning. He threw a 3-2 fastball up and in. And in the end, the umps had to take a look at this to make sure they had it right. The ball was inside by quite a bit. It hit the knob of Wade's bat. The ball ricocheted over and disintegrated the testicles of the Diamondbacks catcher.
Oh, no.
But the catcher held on to the baseball. Strike 3, you're out.
The pitch ball hit the bat, went into the catcher's glove. The call is overturned. It's strike 3.
That did not. Well, eventually it ended up in the catcher's glove. You got to see this video.
Okay, I am trying to access it right now.
This dude's
the
coins.
slow-mo makes it great.
The slow-mo is waiting for Randy's reaction.
Yeah, it's always fun.
Here's the slow-mo.
The slow-mo is...
Oh!
Yeah.
That's a direct shot.
It is. It went knob to knob.
That dude's coins were turned...
Yeah, but he's wearing a cup.
...into seasoning.
I'm sure it rattled the cage.
Oh,
still. That could be brutal, too.
I saw a headline that says, the outcome of this strikeout was pretty nutty. But that was the kid's first career strikeout. He can tell his grandchildren it went off the it went off the handle of the bat. It went off my catcher's balls. Cute video.
Pretty good. That's a team that's just desperately trying to find themselves again after playing so well early in the year.
The D-backs?
Yeah, they were in first place.
Yeah.
They were playing really well, and they have just kind of fallen off. I think the Twins see Merrill Kelly this week. He got hurt. That didn't help him. And then everybody in the West started taking off, like the Giants and the Dodgers started taking off. So
I hear you. I'm sorry to blow up again about this, but I know you guys have my back. Why are we calling fully clothed people who run onto a ball field streakers these days?
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's for clicks. Because I thought the same thing. The headline says streaker, and you think, hilarity, a nude. Oh, he's fully dressed.
You are a great thinker.
Yeah.
You are. You're a great mind.
Well, I think a lot about nude men. And so in this case,
that's got to be it. It's for internet clicks. So then they can go to the boss and say, well, everybody's clicking on our web.
I will say some sites didn't say streaker. They just said, like, fans ran across. But, yeah, or they really think streaking just means running across a field, which maybe it does. I always thought you had to be nude to streak.
I think the young and uneducated people think that all you have to do is jump on a ball field and you're a streaker.
No, you have to be naked.
It's not a streaker unless you're in the nude.
Yeah, so I'm looking it up on dictionary.com. A person who runs naked in a public place.
There you go.
Especially in order to shock or amuse.
Can we just agree to call it a runner?
Yeah, that's fine by me.
I'm not a fan of these douchebags in the first place who run onto the field and interrupt the ball game. But, yeah, you're only a streaker if you're in the nude. How about a little respect for the folks who did it for real back in Randy's day in the 70s? Streaking was everything in the 70s.
That was. It was an art form.
Absolutely was.
I've only seen one in person. It was high school soccer, but I haven't seen it since.
Ooh, how did the 7 or 8 people in the audience react?
They were too riveted by the game. I don't think they noticed.
Sure they were. But, okay. So at a Miami Marlins game the other night, there was a runner. And like I said, I'm not a fan of this gimmick, but I got to give credit to this kid because he ran like hell all over the ballpark.
He can climb a wall.
Yeah.
He's agile. He reminds me of, I saw Eddie Vedder at First Avenue. He did some of the same type of stunts crawling all over that place.
Oh, cool.
Dinkus jumped out onto the ball field. I don't know. This is some fresh new street lingo that I'm not familiar with. He dapped up the Marlins right fielder. What does that mean?
It means like gave him like knowledge him, gave him a fist bump, something like that.
Oh, okay. And then this kid did absolutely everything he could do to avoid security. Is this up on our website?
Yes, it is.
He ultimately got apprehended and, enjoy never being allowed back into the ballpark again. But he did work his ass off to try and get away with this. He climbed, like Josh said, he's on the field. He climbs the outfield wall. He was in a dead-ass sprint around the concourse. I mean, a dead-ass sprint. It's fun to watch.
And the TV camera, it's like one of those police helicopters.
Yeah. Yes.
The TV camera just stays on him the whole time.
Man.
He didn't even try to blend in.
No, he did not. Where's the guy who ran on the ball field? Or he's the guy, where is he? He's the guy running as fast as he friggin' can around the ballpark. Boy, it's been a hell of a year for this Yankees pitcher by the name of Domingo Germán. He got accused of cheating once or twice while pitching. He threw a no-hitter.
Yeah.
And the latest is that he's how does a grown person say this? He's voluntarily entered inpatient treatment for alcohol. I wish him the best of luck. That can't be an easy thing to do to turn yourself into the old spin dry. Hell of a year. A couple of my dad's buddies had to go to the spin dry back in the day. We haven't given away wrestling tickets yet, have we?
We have nothing. We've given away nothing.
We have nothing to give away.
We actually have stuff to give away.
Yeah.
Oh, we have things to give away, Randy Shaver. And
Is there a third place game out there?
And here we go.
You get to go to the third place match, and that's it.
Yeah.
Right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, I love this. We were celebrating the keyword yesterday. We thought it was very clever. Spandex. Today, on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, text injury. INGURY. Text. What's that?
J.
What did I say?
G if you nasty.
Sorry. INJURY. Text that to 651-989-9393 for Rashada. tickets to WWE Raw. They're coming to town next Monday night at Target Center. The prize is furnished by Target Center. Now, if we're talking wrestling injuries, are we talking like Sid Vicious level or something less dramatic? Does everyone remember what happened to Sid Vicious?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, that was brutal.
Randy, if there's one guy in the county that should not look that video up, it's you.
Well, I'm not going to.
Because I know you're very squeamish when it comes to injuries and things like Wapple, you don't remember the Sid Vicious?
No, I do.
Oh, my.
He broke a leg?
He broke his leg as smooth in half as anyone has ever broken a leg.
Ugh.
He came off the top rope to do one of his power kicks or something like that, and his leg that he landed on, like a pretzel.
I can't.
Yeah, it looks like if you take the leg off like a He-Man and then put it on wrong.
Oh,
Your leg's not supposed to do that.
Nick, do you remember when Brock Lesnar tried to go off the top turnbuckle and tried to do a shooting star press?
Yes.
Landed on his head?
That didn't end well.
Oh, that was brutal.
Everybody
to watch,
watching thought he was dead.
Oh, that was brutal.
What was his name that, and some of you are going to say, who've been listening closely this week, this is the second time they've talked about John Morrison? Yeah, it's going to be the second. John Morrison's tag team partner when they were, was it Eminem?
Eminem.
It was Joey Mercury.
Joey Mercury with his nose. Oh,
the ladder tore his nose off.
It was a Money in the Bank match?
Yeah, ladder match.
Ladder match,
And
yeah.
they did this trick with the ladder where they kind of catapulted it like a seesaw and it caught him in the nose.
It was like the ladder was like halfway out of the ring and halfway in the ring.
Yes.
And then one guy jumped off the turnbuckles and then hit the ladder and it popped up and hit the dude in the nose.
You know, sadly enough, he was never the same. I thought Lawler was going to puke.
It was so gross. I'm getting sick just thinking
It just
about
like popped. Too.
The noise.
Why do you sound so happy, Wapple?
Oh, I don't. I hate these injuries just as much as you two.
It was like pop, pop, and the ladder hit his nose. And if you want to look that one up,
I'll pass on that too.
that old ESPN Ocho bit kicks in tonight, and it goes through, I think, Saturday.
Dude, yes, finally. A
You're
Bananas game.
That's right, a Savannah Bananas game, Wapple.
Yeah.
Is that
I'll
tonight?
watch that.
Yes.
That's tonight. Okay.
The slogan is, I think, if it's almost a sport, it's going to be on the Ocho. So I know we brought this up a couple weeks ago, but this is great because now I can tell you every damn thing they plan on airing the next couple of days. 52 sports and 43 hours of programming. Starts tonight, ESPN2, the Savannah Bananas against the, I don't know, the Hermantown.
The party animals.
The party
Party
animals.
animals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's the party animal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Hermantown.
So following that, and I'm just going to keep on it going and a going. ACL Pro Shootout, is that cornhole?
Yes.
Okay. Table hockey. Does anyone know what it means to be the Red Bull Fierste Jepper?
No.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what that was.
Look that up, somebody. Slam ball. They're going to run a little slam ball. Pinball.
Oh, fun.
Speaking of the 70s, Randy, did you ever play pinball?
I did. Sure.
Was there a table that you had a lot of luck on back at the...
Not really. I
at
wasn't super good at that.
At the billiard hall or what? What?
That leper thing?
Yeah?
That leper thing.
They're on a giant pole, and then they have to... There's like a river, and they
pole vault over a river, right?
Yeah, they try to...
So that's,
go
I'm
on
watching
top
the
of
video
a
too.
They have to catapult themselves over bodies of water with a pole in there. That's
Oh, that
hilarious.
sounds cool.
Here's a video.
We should watch that. Holy buckets.
It's a...
They get a good
Dutch
crowd for
sport.
that.
Yeah.
It's a what?
It's a Dutch sport.
Dutch love, baby. Later on tonight, 1:30 in the morning if you're up drinking. The joke that was never that funny in the first place, but for some reason folks just can't let it go. They can't get enough. The USA Mullet Championships. It's so funny because it's short on top and long in the back. It's a mullet. God, that gets my blood pressure just boiling.
I thought there was a Minnesota kid involved in this.
Might be.
Don't care.
Really? I think it's kind of funny.
I'm sorry to say that the following
I like
event...
the mullet.
The following event is also disappointing. The Air Guitar Championships. Not what you expect. I was greatly disappointed the first time I saw the Air Guitar Championships because I love air guitar. I once won an air guitar title at a high school dance. I was 35. It's a long story. I like Josh, old Van Halen, and I loved air guitar because and I think I'm pretty good. Air guitar, all they do is dance.
Yeah.
They run out onto the stage and they dance and they bang their head and people show up for this. I don't understand. They make no effort to play air guitar. And if you were thinking this morning that you were going to tune into a radio show and hear a grown man blow up about mullets and air guitar,
welcome.
You were right. You were right. Disc golf. I love the marble runs.
Oh, those are fun.
Oh, I do like those, yep.
Very addicting to watch.
Those are fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a black hole you enter on YouTube.
Hell yeah. And you pick a marble and you root for it.
Yes, I know.
Go, yellow marble. Then he gets sidetracked by a rock or something.
Yeah,
and
you find yourself yelling at the
yeah, he finishes in last. Foosball.
Sure.
If this was 1991, my brother and I would win that pig in a friggin' cakewalk.
I don't play fair.
The foosball world title, my brother and I could be wearing belts right now. Tag!
That's kind of fun to watch, too.
I've never seen that like outside of kids playing in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like parkour. They're running through an obstacle course and making quick turns and jumping over things.
Is there no takes back? No take backs?
I don't know the exact rules.
We were excited about this when we first brought it up. Auctioneer championships will be aired during the Ocho bit.
That's a talent.
What does this mean again? Did we cover this? Microsoft Excel World Championship?
You're making spreadsheets?
Yeah, that's what
I'd fail.
think.
I bet you'd be
so.
pretty good at that, Waffle.
Yeah, I guess so.
Also on the Ocho, the wildly underrated sport of truck and tractor pulling.
That's
Tractor
fun.
pulls are a blast.
So much fun.
I agree.
I remember watching tractor pulling on television when I was a kid. Here's Earl Hagedorn from Cass Lake, Minnesota, riding a Massey Harris. We're going to see if the one-wheel world championship is at unicycles.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I like unicycles.
Oh, wait, or is it the one-wheel board?
Oh, the board.
Oh,
I'm going to guess it's that.
Oh, that new thing that you kind of roll around.
Those look
it's
fun.
like a snowboard on street.
Am I the only one who wishes they could ride a unicycle around town with a parrot on their shoulder or whatever, And
I don't know about the parrot, but that'd be pretty sweet.
We've got a unicycle club in Egan. If you want to come down and join, we sure do.
So cute.
Randy, you ever try a unicycle?
I have. I'm not very good at it.
How much is a unicycle? Could someone go to ericsbikeshop.com? Are they selling unicycles over there? I'd like to try one.
Oh, it comes with mustache wax.
Of course it does.
Looks like you can get one for $63 on Amazon.
Really?
It's not bad.
Not bad
At
at all.
What the
Walmart.
hell? Let's get two of
Walmart
them.
has one for $63.
Arm wrestling, axe and knife games. I found out I was born to throw knives a couple of years ago.
Where'd you do that at?
A buddy of mine bought some deadly sharp during the pandemic when we weren't supposed to go nowhere. A buddy of mine bought a big sharp ass throwing knife, and he set up a target in his garage, and I was more or less William Wallace with that damn thing. Omega Ball.
Omega Ball.
It's like soccer, but with 3 nets.
Oh, yeah. It's like 3 teams playing a game against each other all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Bull Shooter Invitational Shootout. Is that some kind of archery?
I think it's darts.
Oh, darts.
The Bull Shooter brand.
Oh. Yep.
Q Sports. Q, C-U-E. Q. Anyone?
No.
Must be pool.
Yeah, I'd imagine billiards of some sort.
I'll watch billiard.
Heck yeah.
Kickball. Wiffle ball. Ping pong. Josh.
Now the wiffle ball would be fun because if you've watched some of those videos of guys who are really good at wiffle ball, especially pitching wiffle
the
ball,
pitching is crazy.
it's amazing.
Oh, I've never seen it.
I don't know how I would hit a ball with some of those pitchers.
It doesn't make sense what happens with the ball.
Defies physics.
Just do what you did when you were playing Little League. Close your eyes, swing like hell. Josh, here you go. 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Slippery Stairs.
Oh,
so
yes.
good.
Look for those ladies on the top deck covered in KY. Unless they've changed Slippery Stairs. I watched Slippery Stairs from 9-10 years ago, and they put a couple of local strippers on the top deck and coat them in KY.
Wouldn't Slippery Stairs be on Friday?
Isn't that what I said?
You said
Tomorrow.
Thursday.
No,
Today is Thursday.
I thought I said tomorrow night.
You did say tomorrow night.
I thought you said Thursday.
I'm not too
sorry.
worried. Wapple, I'm not too worried if folks know exactly when this is going to.
Might be.
Oh, V Sports, not we. The letter V, I, Sports. Pillow fights, foot golf, Stein holding competitions, corgi races, dog surfing, dodgeball, cross net, e-scooter racing, spike ball, belt sander races.
Those are sweet.
I want to get involved in that.
Yeah, those are way cool.
Some of those haul ass.
Yeah, they even have like exhaust systems on them. It's insane.
Stone skipping. I don't know what tech ball is. Tetris, golden tee, sign spinning, grass drag racing sounds great. Oh, Ultimate Ninja World Finals. Fling golf?
Fling golf.
Horseshoes. That pretty much covers everything. For the Ocho. Randy, the 100-meter foot race. When you ran track and field, did you ever try the 100-meter?
Yeah, too short for me.
You went 400?
Yeah, I ran 400 meters.
And relays, right?
Correct.
Relay team?
What's the most difficult event you competed in?
For me?
Yeah, for you.
I ran the 800 meters one time in high school, and I thought I was going to die. Because I ran it like trying to run 400 meters back to back, and that's not the way you run that.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, I was dead in the second lap.
I wonder if you were faster than Curtis when you were young.
Curtis?
Yeah. Curtis.
Who's that?
Well, what did Curtis run the 400 meters in?
Curtis. He didn't run jack squat. He didn't play track or whatever the term might be. He was just faster than a sumbitch. You ever heard of the World University Games? Some kind of track meet?
No.
Okay. Very few people could possibly care less about it, but there's some controversy coming from the World University Games. By damn, there is. A lady Somali runner ran what folks are calling the saddest, slowest 100-meter of all time.
This is up on 93x.com.
Trying to do it on purpose?
No, you got to see. I'll explain it, and then you got to see the video.
I mean, she doesn't quite have what you'd expect for the body type for this type of event right off the gate, right? Yeah,
Right.
It's kind of sad what happened there.
Her name is Nasro Ali Abukar. She sucks at running, at least compared to the other girls in the race who have trained for years. You know, they ate right, they put down the vape sticks, and they held off going to Red Lobster for a week or two ahead. These other gals were real runners. This Nasro Abukar ran the 100 in a little over 21 seconds.
Okay.
Easily last place. She showed no running form at all.
It looked like they were in different sports.
Yeah.
Those other women were so fast.
It didn't really appear she'd ever run in a competitive race before. And this is not a case of, like, say, maybe you're guessing that Somali just has a terrible track program or something. That is not the case. The rumors are, Randy, this gal was only out there running for the track team because she's related to a high-ranking member of the Somali Athletics Federation.
Okay.
Good old-fashioned nepotism.
I've got some connections. I want to use it to embarrass myself on a global scale.
How stupid.
You're right, though, Dana. I mean, even if that was a passion of yours, would you want to be that embarrassed? I'd imagine she knew she wasn't going to do that well.
Right.
Did you watch the race yet, Randy?
I just did, yeah. I mean...
Maybe there's some money involved, fame.
Maybe it's just was just a dream of hers to do it one time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, but it's not right to give that gal a chance when there's qualified athletes. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the controversy.
Yeah, this high-ranking...
Yeah, but as I'm looking at this race, they didn't fill all the lanes, so I don't, it doesn't look like she took somebody else's spot.
Well, she took somebody else's spot from the Somali track team. You following what happened here?
I understand what you're saying.
Some boss at the Somali Athletics Federation said, no, forget about these qualified runners. Let's put my niece out there because she could use a good time or a trip to Bangkok or wherever they held this friggin' track meet.
Sure.
Good old-fashioned. And like I've said before, if you played youth hockey in the state of Minnesota anytime between 1911 and the present day, you know all about how sometimes it ain't how you play, but who you know or who your friggin' daddy is.
Mm-hmm.
This lady from the Somali Athletics Federation who made this decision has been suspended for putting her niece or her grandchild or whatever it was.
Sure.
I mean, I think I ran faster in the Target Field mascot race 5-6 years ago while dressed as a giant loon and wearing imitation work boots than this gal did at the international effing track meet.
Did you get the W?
Oh, God, no. I finished. I was so slow.
Oh, yeah.
I can't run at all.
I would like to see her up against just some regular people instead of these elite athletes.
Sure.
God dang. Oh, no, Randy, there could be trouble already at Dallas Cowboys training camp.
Unlike that franchise to have drama.
Yeah.
A player on the Cowboys roster named Trevon Diggs apparently told the
Stephon Diggs' brother.
Yeah.
Oh.
Trevon Diggs.
That reminds me how much I don't care if it's Stephon Diggs' brother. A player on the Cowboys named Trevon Diggs apparently told the starting quarterback for the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, to shut his bitch ass up during practice.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
How do you overcome something like that, Randy Shaver?
You just compete against each other.
That's not the way to form and maintain a healthy working relationship.
Diggs just got a huge contract
he
in
did.
the offseason.
It was ridiculous.
So maybe that's why he's maybe a little bit more vocal about things. I don't know. Maybe Dak was trying to embarrass him, trying to throw to beat him in coverage or do something, and they were talking back and
Well,
forth.
I saw
Who
the
knows?
video. I mean, it just looked like a regular play that went sideways. It's not a way to form a healthy working relationship. I was just talking about healthy working relationships and respect for your coworkers with Dana the Dickwagon over there.
And then
how did that conversation go?
Yeah, and then, like Josh said, and then bitch ass Wapple interrupted us. It was rude.
How did that go with Dana DW?
Dickwagon.
I loved when we called you Dick House.
Dick House is good.
Oh, yeah. Dick House was good.
Oh, that's what I thought I was doing.
No.
Oh,
Dick House.
Dick. I went the other way.
Hey, Dick Wagon's
I went
cool
with a
too.
wagon instead of a house.
And
Wagon.
Ashley over there.
What?
You're great.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you.
I love the video going around of a damn bear in Canada who hates
saw
golf
this.
as much as I do.
Oh my gosh.
Can that bear show up when I'm playing golf?
That was
Give me the
hilarious.
excuse so I don't have to keep playing.
Dude, I'd be so mad. Chances are, I mean, that's like
Just
thousands
come
of
and
dollars.
take my clubs away.
Well, I guess I'm done.
Well, that bear's like, this is
God, that'd
mine
be
now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I can't.
Stop it! No way. No! The bear is still right there. God, no! He ripped my bag to shreds. I can't believe that.
I think I just let the bear have the clubs.
These dudes are golfing in Canada, and a friggin' bear came smooth out the woods and grabbed one of the fella's golf bags off the golf cart and just brought it into the woods with him.
What do you want to bet the fella brought some lunch and put it in the golf bag?
Oh.
And that's what the bear
Well,
smelled.
yep.
The dude said we had no food in any of our golf bags.
Really?
But you know
Wow.
how bears are. I mean, if he had a bag of corn nuts in there a week ago, you know,
Yes,
they can
true.
Right.
they can sniff that out.
God, I would pay the bear to come take my clubs out of the car.
It's been that bad lately?
Oh, gosh. The last time I played, or the time before, actually, I wish he would have been there.
By what hole?
First one.
Oh, no.
Yeah. just come put me out of my misery.
Bear sneaks up, grabs the golf bag. He wasn't listening to anything the boys were saying. He's taking that sumbitch. And he just tore it into shreds.
The guy starts like walking after him with one of his clubs, and I'm just like, no. Let him have that. You lost this situation.
I don't know. You're looking to get killed there.
Yep.
The guy whose bag got stolen, his name is Gene Yak.
How? He's having a bad time already.
How you doing? I'm Nick. Hey, I'm Gene. Gene what? Gene Yak.
I think that's his last name.
Oh.
His first name's Jerome.
Now Jerome?
Yeah, Jerome Gignac.
Oh, that's awesome. It changes everything, Josh.
I love that name, Jerome.
I do.
I
Jerome.
like that name,
Jerome's
too.
a great
It does
name.
change things.
One of my buddies' dad's name was Jerome. I don't think you want to cross paths with a black bear, Randy, out on the golf course.
Especially one that's into golf. Just leave him alone.
Into golf. Shows up, he's got a visor on.
Asking if he can play through.
Yes, sir. Whatever you say, sir. Of course.
You guys see my ball over here?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. Is this just people betting with their hearts or wishful thinking? You tell me, Randy Shaver. You're the degenerate gambler. The New York Jets are the most bet team to miss the playoffs at BetMGM.
Oh, I'm sure it's because of Aaron Rodgers.
So what are you saying? People are betting against them because they can't stand the guy?
Yeah, that they probably feel like it. There's a lot of people who think they're going to be really good this year, so you're kind of betting against
You
that.
go the other way, just for fun. I hear you. I saw a funny video of a fantasy football last place punishment.
Sure.
A dude was forced to go out golfing while wearing a dress. But it didn't affect his game. He hit the ball into a hole from 160 yards away. They call it here an eagle.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's hilarious.
And he was wearing a dress.
He's yoked.
Nice.
Is he
You
yoked?
should wear the dress all the time.
Yeah, really. It's
You know
lucky
what?
dress.
If I got an eagle wearing a dress, I probably would keep wearing the dress.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm sorry, did you say this or ask this? Is that 2 under? Is that what an eagle means?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So if it's a par 4, you scored it in 2.
Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, pretty impressive. It sounds like your golf game is really struggling, Randy.
It has. This has not been a good summer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's been bad.
Now I'm trying not to lose my temper again. I already let her buck on mullets being funny, and what else was I screaming about? Oh, air guitar championships not being air guitar and being completely phony, and no one should watch it. I'm trying not to lose it again here. I don't like to be mad, but here's a guy that desperately needs to get over himself and leave us alone and realize that it's not 2013 anymore. Former athlete Johnny Manziel. He and some other clowns are opening a nightclub in Texas, and they're calling it Johnny Manziel's Money Bar. I mean, the bit is over.
Gosh, you would think.
Remember? I mean, because I was Johnny Manziel, and I did the money bit. Remember that 10
Money
years ago?
Manziel, that was his nickname,
I'd make the sign with my hands of money. Remember that?
See, now Money Manziel
God,
would have been
help
a
us.
better name for the bar.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a better name.
What is Icky Woods going to show up and open a dance club while we're at it here? I mean, not that I don't like Icky Woods, but the bit is over.
There is a documentary about him coming out on Netflix, so I guess this was smart timing of him to announce he's opening a bar now because he's back in the headlines in a minor way.
And what is the documentary going to tell us that we don't already know?
Yeah, it's
the guy was a failure in professional sports.
And he kind
what
of
else
came
is
off like a dick while he was doing
He
it.
sure did.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know what else it's going to tell us.
Kind of came off like a dick.
Little bit.
Icky Shuffle House.
The Icky Shuffle House is your attempt to name Icky Shuffle's new dance club?
Yeah, I loved it.
I mean, I loved Icky Shuffle, or Icky Woods, and I loved the Icky
Right.
Shuffle. But that was 1988.
Yeah.
But I loved the 80s. Everyone knows that.
A lot of people did.
Now, speaking of documentaries, this one's got me, Randy. I'm going to try. If someone can show me how to watch something on NBA.com, I'm in on this. NBA.com, today a documentary comes out on the career of former Timberwolf Luke Longley.
Luke Longley, take one, probably the only take, we're going to nail it. It's only when you look back in hindsight you think, oh, that was pretty cool at the time.
The Minnesota Timberwolves select Luke Longley.
Aware that Australia had arrived on the NBA scene, I'm the first Australian, I've got to get this right.
Chicago with the lead, and it's
their second three-peat.
I feel like I'm a collage of my whole career. I know it's been 25 years. We're probably due for a reunion.
I bet that'll be really good.
I bet that'll be interesting.
And I bet he's a very nice guy, and I bet he can tell a story.
He was a nice guy.
Was he nice when you used to see him in the locker room?
Yes, he was.
I bet.
He just, the Wolves kind of, he was not the, whatever he was, fifth pick or the sixth overall pick, something like
Seventh, I thought it was. I don't remember.
Obviously, good player in college, but not projected to be that high in the draft.
Luke Longley. I saw a little bit of the trailer, the teaser, whatever the term is, and he's got a long hairdo now. He looks like he's healthy and doing well. I'm interested in hearing his story. I was at Target Center when he was drafted by the Timberwolves, and the crowd was pissed. Oh, they were pissed.
Yeah.
They wanted.
The Wolves felt like they had to have young big men. That was the position. They were drafting for a position. They weren't really drafting for the best player. And that's why Felton Spencer was chosen.
Right.
And that's why Luke Longley was chosen.
And he went on and, played with that unrelenting prick Michael Jordan and won some time. Happy for him.
He was a great role player for Chicago.
Yeah,
that's what he ended up being.
I'm looking forward to watching that.
Wasn't he traded to Chicago for Stacey King? Wasn't that the
deal? That sounds right to me. I remember Stacey King coming over this way.
That was
Someone look that up.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up now.
Stacey King. And I think Stacey King now does color commentary for Chicago Bulls games. I could be wrong about that.
Traded for Stacey King in the 93-94 season.
There you go.
Remember, you want to talk about big men that played for the Timberwolves? Stanley Roberts. Does anyone remember Stanley Roberts?
That's a cup of coffee.
That dude was huge. You could have shown a movie on his back. Stanley Roberts. He was massive. What about Oliver Miller?
That, too, was a cup of coffee. Yeah,
Oliver Miller. Boy, he was smooth with the basketball, but he kind of got a little weight issue. Well, I'm going to try to. Josh, do you know how to program NBA.com onto my television? Could you swing by and?
We could figure that out.
I appreciate that.
Get the app. You can stream it on the app as well.
Everyone's always up my ass about apps. Not you. You're always friendly about it.
I try and help you out.
Yeah, you're always friendly and helpful about it.
I brought it up the other day, and you ordered mozzarella sticks, and I'd say, no.
No, that's not the right app.
No, for your phone.
Right. I can't eat my phone.
Randy, we'll get you and Brad together tomorrow for a dad fight.
Oh, my gosh. Another comeback victory. I can feel it now.
Gosh, you've had some good ones, haven't you?
Usually I don't remember a thing about a dad fight immediately after it's over.
Yeah.
But I do remember last week was a great comeback by Randy
I've
Shea.
had a few of those in the last few weeks.
Kind of a cardiac kid.
I kind of let Brad, build some confidence, think he's going to win,
and you rope-a-dope him.
Exactly.
Well, Brad was so emotionally fragile during last week's episode.
Yeah, he has been the last couple of weeks.
Crying up and down about no longer being able to.
I almost feel sorry for him, but then again, I really don't.
Randy, never feel sorry for a man who has a sex cabin.
Exactly.
We'll talk to you tomorrow, Randy.
See ya.
Thank you very much. We'll be back here before you know it, by damn.
Half-assed morning show.
69. This show sucks. Who are you, fart knockers?
93X.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
Are you currently enjoying the show on the Stitcher app? Then you need to know Stitcher is going away on August 29th. Yep, going away, as in kaput, gone, dead. Rest in peace, Stitcher, and thanks for 15 years of service to the podcast community. So switch to another podcast app and follow this show there. Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
Damn right, it is 8:29. Welcome back to the Half-assed morning show. Thursday. It is Thursday. Let's talk about our scars. Who's got scars, and how did you get so lucky? What happened?
My face.
Your face.
Was this soup-related?
Yeah, that was a soup-related injury.
You have a scar on your face from what?
From falling, face planting.
Was this alcohol-related?
I wasn't as drunk as I should have been.
Where is the scar?
On my lip, upper lip.
I've never noticed.
Thank you. That's awesome.
I never
Cool.
noticed. I mean, is this the falling out of a truck while carrying a bag of soup moment?
Yep.
I didn't know that it resulted in a scar.
Yeah, I got 10 stitches in my face.
Well.
In your vent?
Yep, right here.
10 stitches
Right
in her
there,
friggin'
right under the
vent.
nose. Yeah.
Next time that happens, you don't need to send me a picture of the aftermath.
Oh, I forgot I did that.
It's pretty gnarly.
I think I sent you guys all of it. Yeah, it is.
You know, Dana, you've sent some pretty ugly pictures our way.
I am really lucky, though. I consider myself very lucky from what it looked like to what it's resulted in. I thought it was going to be way worse.
You're lucky you didn't lose any chiclets.
Yeah, really. I'm lucky. I'm very lucky my teeth didn't go through my lip.
Is that your only scar?
I guess important one. Yeah, I just have random ones here and there.
Wobble?
Softball
Scars?
stuff.
No scars, no broken bones.
Look at you, dude. I've never broken a bone either.
You're
Look at
pristine.
us.
Not even when your sister slammed your skull in a van door.
Yeah, I just got dumber from that. That's about all that happened
I
there.
just killed some brain cells.
It's one of my favorite Wapple stories. The family, weren't you guys all headed off to get a Frosty at Wendy's or something, and everyone was pumped?
Very close. We were going to Dairy Queen. Oh. So we were super excited, and we had one
And
of those.
how old were you, and how old was the sister?
Ooh, I had to have been 5, and she would have been 7. Yeah.
And you're in the family van.
So the minivan, right?
Yeah, in the minivan.
With the sliding door.
Yep, I had my 2 sisters were in front of me, and then I was in the way back. So everyone was getting out, and my sister, for some reason, thought I wasn't getting out to get Dairy Queen. Why would I just sit there?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
So I had my head out the van door first, and she slammed that sucker and just rang it off my head, bounced back and everything. The door.
Scars, Dana.
I got a couple on my leg. They're not major, but we were at a soccer match. Yeah, I know soccer sucks. You don't need to text. I was at a soccer match in Kansas
you know
City.
what? That's nipping it in the bud right there.
That's smart.
Well, you might have saved a life if somebody decided to text and drive for that.
Yeah.
So we were at a soccer match. It was a big U.S. World Cup qualifier, and we were behind the net, and they scored a goal, and my buddy tackled me, because we were celebrating. He grabbed onto me, and my leg just clipped on the bench in front of me, and we just went stumbling down.
Smashed into a bench.
But there's still debate because he claims I was falling, and he was trying to hold me up, and I pulled him with him, but I maintain that he tackled me.
You have a little scar on your leg from that.
Yep, nothing major, though.
Cubby?
Yeah, I have a few. The dumbest ones would be I was arm wrestling in 6th grade, and my opponent decided to dig their nails into my hand, and I mean, it bled like a bastard. So I still have little kid fingernail scars on my hand.
I also have a fingernail scar I'll tell you about in a minute.
And then, as you know, I tried to cut my finger off when I worked at a restaurant.
What about when you tried to cut a wart off of your belly or something like that?
I didn't scar.
You didn't
No.
scar?
Nice.
I got chewed out by the doctor, but yeah, I didn't scar.
What were you filleting again in the restaurant kitchen when you almost cut your finger smooth off?
Well, I was sharpening it.
Oh.
And we were messing around. I wasn't paying attention. And so I was actually lucky that it was so sharp because it never hurt. You know how if they're like a fall or something you do where you think it's going to hurt and you're just waiting for the pain to kick in? It never did. It was such a clean cut. It just bled like a bastard.
Yeah, if you're going to cut yourself, sharp knives is the way to go. Oof.
Yeah, it was.
Once they're dull,
yeah.
That's so brutal.
Yeah, it didn't hurt.
That would be your full list of scars?
I have a couple on my legs that I have no idea how they happened.
That's most of my scars.
So it just must have been super minor and somehow they scarred.
Where we're eventually going with this, and we'd love the brother and sisterhood to get involved. If you hurt yourself in a really stupid way and it resulted in a scar, let us know. 651-989-9393. If you hurt yourself in a really stupid way and it resulted in a scar, well, that you're falling down drunk with a bag of soup, that would qualify, right, Ashley?
Yeah, I just remember. I don't know how I forgot about this. I have another scar that's
That's pretty bad. It's on my butt. It's like very large. It's like a burn scar because I last 4th of July, I was up at my friend's cabin and we were going into the sauna, and there was a drunk dude in there.
Save your text.
And
save your text on how to pronounce it. Yeah.
he went to like fall, so he kind of pushed me back, and I sat on like the hot coals for a second, and I was like, oh gosh, and I got up really fast, and he went to fall again and pushed me harder this time. And I probably sat on the hot coals for 10 or probably like 5 whole seconds. So I have a permanent
Your cheeks got a double whammy from the coals.
Yep. So
Wow.
permanent grate mark on my butt.
Ooh, that reminds me of a scene from The Toxic Avenger, but none of you know that reference, so I'll continue on.
I have a dumb story how I injured myself, not a scar, but my parents used to make us. I lived in a busy
garbage
area.
house in Minneapolis?
I did, yeah.
Yes, a garbage house.
Yeah. But it was a busy area, high traffic street.
Word.
And so my parents would make us walk our bikes across the street. We couldn't ride them across the street, right?
You had to walk your bikes across the street.
So
that was safer than riding them somehow.
I guess.
Okay.
I mean, that's what we were told we had to do.
Copy
and,
that.
I mean, they were very strict about it. So I was maybe, I don't know, 4th grade, maybe 3rd grade. And we would bike all the time. And so we were playing cops and robbers, right? And so I'm running from one of the stupid cops, and I had to get off my bike and run it across. And then when I lifted the bike up to hop the curb so I could get back on it, I had ape hangers on this thing, right?
Sure.
And I knocked my 2 front teeth out.
Dang.
And so I was pissed, of course, at my parents that they made me. I thought if I was just riding the bike, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But because you make me go across, I have to, and I look like a fool racing up to the corner,
Right.
jumping off, walking across.
And it's amazing that even in that situation, you abided the commands of your folks, even though you were probably, blocks away from where they live,
Around the block, yeah. But, yeah, it was on the other side of the block. They wouldn't have seen it.
You bounced the tire off the curb, the handlebars hit you in the yapper.
Yeah.
I forget that.
2.5 teeth.
I forget that you have falsies.
Yeah, and your brother's lifting buddy made them for me, Tony.
Oh, sure. I remember that guy. I see text coming in, and we'll get to this. If you've hurt yourself in a stupid way and it resulted in a scar, we'd like to hear about it. Maybe we can dump a few of these stories before we go.
Some of these pictures coming in.
People are sending pictures?
Oh,
I forget that we can receive pictures now.
Oh, I'm staying off.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Waffle.
My
Not
roster.
going on. Let me see the blood.
My roster of scars is I have a thumbnail. You mentioned you have fingernails permanently engraved into your skin.
Yep.
I have a permanent thumbnail mark from a spirited game of mini basketball here in the building against Smilin' Don.
Oh,
remember when we had the mini hoop at the old building?
That's right.
And I'm playing mini basketball, pulling off, Dominique Wilkins type slam dunks. And here comes our sales guy, Smilin' Don. He wants to play one-on-one.
Don, high school basketball star.
He was a high school basketball
St. Paul Johnson.
star. And I deked him out of his shorts, said I'm going to the basket for a dunk, and he fouled me so hard, and the man's finger and thumbnails were like he was going to do a magazine ad. There were these long... He friggin' stabbed me with it. So you can see right there, Josh. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it from here.
That's the shape
That's a big scar.
That's Don's thumbnail in 1999 right there.
Why are his thumbs so big? Yeah, he got you good.
I know. I have the scar on my chest from my collapsed lung. I have a couple scars above my nose from when a guy broke my nose for me playing beer league hockey. But I did beat him up in the parking lot after the game in front of his wife and kids.
Oh, my God.
But I think that's my roster of scars. I've been pretty lucky, kind of like Wapple. You mean, aside from that minivan door crushing your cranium, I've been pretty lucky.
Oh, some of these pictures listeners are sending are brutal.
Oh, yeah.
But also really cool. A lot of hand injuries.
I just thought of another one for me. It's kind of faded, and my back is too hairy to even tell if it's still there or not. But when I was in St. Cloud one night, we had been out drinking, and I was sitting on the oven in the kitchen, kind of prop my butt up on the oven. We were just sitting there having these beers. And
Ashley would do on a set of hot coals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my legs or butt managed to knock one of the burners on. So pretty soon somebody's like, dude, you're on fire.
Yeah.
My entire back of my hoodie was just up in flames.
Your whole sweatshirt caught on fire?
Bro.
So it got to the point, so the entire back of the sweatshirt burnt out, so it was like I was wearing one of those hospital gowns.
Sure.
There's just no back to it.
And it scarred up your skin a little bit?
Yeah, they said it was second degree. I had to obviously go to the doctor the next day, and from the front of me, I just looked like a normal guy, like, hey, what are you here for? And I just turn around so she could see my back, and the person at the front desk just goes, "Good God!"
Maybe you're lucky in a way, or maybe that's why your body has produced the same amount of hair as a mountain gorilla, to cover up that.
That must have hurt so bad.
Yeah,
it didn't at the time, but the next morning it sure did.
Really? Burn injuries, man.
And then of course too, they bandaged it up. And my girlfriend at the time was like, "I'm not touching your back. You're going to have to figure out how to rebandage and redress that wound yourself."
We're going to have to really bang out some text messages here in a few minutes. A lot of folks in our listening audience have hurt themselves. They're sending in stories of their scars. They're sending in pictures, or as Wapple calls them,
pictures.
Here's the
These
internet.
Are brutal, man.
Is it pretty gross?
Oh, I feel for you people that have sent some of these photos in. Oh my gosh.
Here's internet clowns telling their stories of being dumb, hurting themselves in a ridiculous way, and ending up with permanent scars. Tripped over my kitten and busted my head open on the sofa. Toasting a Pop-Tart. I was a young kid. I pulled the Pop-Tart loose from the toaster, and the frosting was so hot it was literally bubbling. I dropped it because it was burning my hand. I dropped it onto my leg, frosting side down.
No.
I went to wipe it away, and my skin wiped away with it.
Boy, I'm sure everyone's had that moment where hot cheese falls on you or something. Luckily, no skin came with it.
How about a little
That hurts
hot?
enough.
That sucks so bad because you're about to enjoy a delicious Pop-Tart. You're thinking, hey, this is going to be a great day. Then all of a sudden you're missing skin.
Yeah.
Now, how about this? Did you guys play this game? My buddy and I played this game a little bit where you scrape with, like, say, your fingernail. Take your index finger, take the fingernail, and you scrape it on the top of your buddy's hand.
Yes.
Lightly, but for as long as they can handle it.
Mm-hmm.
I played it. Ashley played it.
No, I've never done that.
I hate to. It hurts so bad.
Some kids did it with erasers.
Yep. I remember the erasers for sure.
So I remember that on a long road trip.
I'm afraid that it would lead to them falling in love with me.
And a long road trip. My buddy said, we were like fourth graders. Okay, I remember the spot where he scratched me on the back of my hand, just behind my index finger. He took his index finger and just scraped. And at first, it just nothing. But after a while, he's slowly but surely irritating your skin and taking. And eventually, it hurts like a bastard. But here's where I'm going. Really strangely enough, I ended up getting a wart on that very spot a couple years later.
Weird.
I wonder if there's anybody who knows anything about dermatology that could tell me if that was the result. Some kids use pencil erasers, like a form of torture to see how long you can take it.
I've been here with, just like a woman texted in here, a picture of getting damaged in her face by her dog with a headbutt. I've had a couple. I got headbutt by my dog a couple weeks ago where I think I forgot everything about the years 2007 to 2012. There's no way this didn't do permanent damage. He hit me so hard. I saw stars. It was crazy.
Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Man.
Back in the 80s. Now, you've broken the text machine.
Seriously.
Our listening audience has been through a lot. We've been talking about our scars, especially if we gained them in a really stupid way. Because of the response on our text machine, we physically cannot keep up with the messages. We physically cannot. It is scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. This is not a complaint. We appreciate it. But we meant to take up some time telling some of your stories, but it is physically impossible to click on them, read them, and then relay them the way they are flying into 651-989-9393. This is a great problem to have.
I just clicked on some at random. And I do have a few, but it was kind of like just throwing darts at a moving target. But there are so many moving targets, you would hit something.
A lot of us should have been dead a long time ago was the message that I got.
Lake Street Handshake Jesus said instead of just throwing fluorescent light bulbs away, he decided to karate chop them and ended up with 6 stitches in his hand.
Oh, that would be fun, though. I feel ya.
I feel ya.
Wapa! All juice, no seeds, Jesus said. I have a scar on my chin from falling over the bass drum and marching band during homecoming. Oh, dude. I have a ear-to-ear scar from hitting my face on a mailbox on a four-wheeler.
Oh, God dang.
Cheesehead Jesus said a buddy decided to light a fart. The only issue was, though, he thought it would be funny to use a campfire. In the drunken process, he fell backwards, third-degree burns to the bunghole.
Oh.
He said the worst part is he had to get his girlfriend to put medicine on it because he couldn't reach.
Third-degree burns on a bunghole. Never even heard of anything like that.
Pooping painful.
Josh, someone got scars from your mom's nails on their back.
Dude, what? Don't do that to me. Ashley, college, they're going by so fast. That's the one you picked? College football official Jesus said, I have a big scar on the side of my knee when I jumped onto the roof of a little barn at my parents' house. I went right through the roof, got stuck halfway through, had to have both my parents pull me the rest of the way out.
Oh, man.
Woof.
A scar from making popcorn on a big pot, in a big pot on the stove. My hand slid forward over the lid, burned all down the underside of my arm. Still a scar to this day. Accidentally also peeled his finger when he was peeling a cucumber.
Oh, that is one of my biggest fears with a peeler that I'm going to get my hand.
How about this one? Scar on the other side of my special purpose from a curling iron.
Oh.
Boy, have you ever touched one of those by accident?
It's so hot.
Yes.
For most of us, the hair is naturally curly down there.
Yeah, I have a couple scars on my neck.
How did he get a curl? I got to find out.
Yeah, I'd like more information, too.
It's going to be impossible to find this out, but... Oh, that's probably... He got a mark under his bag from a curling iron. I bet he did sit on it.
Probably, yeah.
Because, you ladies will leave those things blazing hot sitting around the...
For hours.
Peg Leg Jesus got her pride scarred. She was sitting on the bathroom sink plucking her eyebrows. Her feet were in the sink, butt slinging on the tiny space where you normally stand to wash your hands. She fell backwards. She tried to put her arm out to stop the fall, and she had her shoulder pop out. She had to have physical therapy 2 times a week for 3 months, 2 cortisone shots, and almost had to have surgery.
It's really amazing.
I had a temporary scar once because I was cooking a frozen pizza, and so I took the pizza out of the oven. Then instead of using the rag, the oven mitt to push the thing back in, I just kind of slammed it with my bicep, and it turns out that it was about 400 degrees and burned my bicep pretty good.
I mean, really, honestly.
What makes you think to do that, out of curiosity?
I don't know. Pure laziness.
We have tried our damnedest to try to keep up with your messages. Thank you for the response, but it's very, very difficult. I'm just doing my best here to piece some together. Like I said, our listening audience has been through a lot. I've scrolled through a lot of injuries involving chainsaws.
Yeah. Oof.
A lot of pet injuries, too.
Injured by pet?
Yeah. Dog jumping up.
Yeah, well, you're not kidding. OG Katie said she took her cat to the vet, and when they went to take the cat's temperature, and you know how they do that, right? Not in the mouth.
No.
The cat flipped out. She got a giant scratch from that, and that one led to a scar.
Oh, when they get pissed and want out, yeah, they'll tear you smooth up. A claw hammer took off one of our listeners' eyebrows.
Oh.
Quite a few of you have fallen out of trees. Quite a few of you have gotten tangled up in barbed wire.
Crazy fish guy Jesus got kicked by a draft horse.
Now, that is something, but how about this one? Got attacked by a 600-pound boar at work. What the hell do you do? Can anyone think of an occupation off the top of your head where you're dealing with...
Like a farmer? I don't know.
Really?
Attack boars?
Boars are a very serious problem.
350 pounds of steel landing on my pinky.
Ow-wee.
Barn nail through the chest. And the pictures have told the story for a lot of you. So you sent in a lot of your pictures.
They're rough, man.
And my damn, how did you, in a lot of cases, I'm fascinated by how you sat still through that injury long enough for someone to take a picture.
Yeah.
I agree. Just the courage. I mean, I think I'd pass out from fear at looking at some of these
That
things.
is one thing I've noticed over the years is that dudes love doing that. Like, first things first, if they get, like, an accident at work, like, let me take a picture quick.
That's true. I would want it documented.
Yeah.
I need help. All right, man, I'll help you. But first, here, let's get a selfie going.
Cooler-Aid Jesus said his teething puppy thought his ear was a toy, caught her fang on his old earring hole, and ripped the lobe in half.
Those are sharp teeth, too.
F me. How did that tooth find the friggin' earring hole?
Well, yeah, they're little teeth, I guess.
Now, back to cats. This is cute. I blew a raspberry on my cat's belly. Who's a good kitty? Are you the kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Cat flips out, scratches a 3-inch scar into my eyebrow for me.
Oh, man. This text says, me and my buddy were drunk riding mini bikes. Chain fell off. I go to fix it. I seared my forearm on the exhaust. Then I proceeded to burn my wrist. 2 gnarly scars. That's Ginger IT Tech Jesus.
Oh, that exhaust has burned a lot of us. So we've lost a lot.
I've got it. I had to burn my ankle on exhaust once.
We have lost a lot of blood collectively.
We have.
But made it. We've survived to tell the story. Again, thank you very much for trying your best to get us your messages of injuries, stupid or otherwise. But I think we've I don't know if anyone can do this kind of arithmetic. We've probably set an all-time record for text machines.
It's like not even loading on my computer right now.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, thank you very much for sending these in. Apologize we can't get to more of them.
I'm going to save the pictures and maybe, I don't know, maybe sabotage one of you with a disgusting birthday card in the future or something.
Well, WAP will be the one, right?
No, I'm good.
Wouldn't you like that, Wapple? Happy birthday, it says on the front, and there's Rick and Morty, and you're like, well, yay, Nick got me a birthday, and it's Rick and Morty. And you open it up, it's all our listeners with missing fingers and elbows that have been torn off and things like that.
Definitely would barf.
Name the top 3 things you'd rather have people send pictures of. 3, but it can't be things that you'd want, but you'll just deal with because you'd rather get those than these pictures that are coming in now.
Probably a wiener.
A wiener.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some pictures of your girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Maybe heights.
Picture like some first-person perspective of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what the third one. We'll go with like June bugs.
Yeah.
Dude, gross.
These are nasty.
More specifically, Josh has some pictures of your girlfriend.
I do not. She's already mad at us. Best of luck to Big Dream Small Wiener Jesus going in for his first colonoscopy this morning. Good luck, man. Fiber Splicing Jesus sent in a happy birthday shout out to his mom. Happy 30th to Jordan from your fiance. Pissing with the Pups Jesus wants to give a shout out to Piercing Eyes Jesus. Happy birthday to his girl. Happy belated birthday shout out to Corbin, who turned 9 yesterday, from Dad Turds and Taters.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.